Welcome to the Planescape, where good and evil clash, where law and order maintain their delicate balance. The battleground for gods and monsters. Many heroes have written their legends in the stars of the astral sea, but these are not their stories. The Aspera and her crew, Kyana, Voss, Vera and Dani, may not be the stuff of legends yet, but they're definitely rolling with difficulty.
Hello and welcome to our little planes-hopping D&D campaign, folks. My name is Austin, your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and as always, I am joined by our outcasts opposing an onslaught of oppressive odds. Say hello, everyone.
Howdy.
I don't feel welcome.
I'm in
I don't
danger.
feel like you're friendly right now.
What are you
I've had
talking
2 whole
about?
weeks to
Everything's
stress
fine.
about this.
I'm rooting for you guys.
Are you?
Thanks.
I'm on your side. I hope this works out too.
Okay.
We'll have to end the season early, I guess.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Surprise, motherfuckers. No, hopefully not. I mean, we'll see. Things happen. Anyway, welcome to Season 4, Episode 8. The sands are running through the hourglass. We're coming very close to the end of the season already, and I can't believe it. It feels like it's flown by for me. And what's crazy is I don't know how it's going to end. So,
Oh my God! Stop.
what do you mean? We're all very excited to see what happens right now. So, without any further ado, because we actually have no sponsors this week, I believe that we can jump right into
Just
the
like
action.
going off of a high dive and doing one of those Olympic flips. No, we do not have a sponsor for this week, and we can jump right into the episode. You thought I would miss? You thought I would fucking miss?
Honestly, 8.5.
Think I'm
you.
here to fuck
Thank you.
around?
Yeah.
8.5 as well.
You think you think this is a joke? No.
If we fuck around much longer, I'm gonna actually throw up.
I feel like I'm what is it? Compensating by making jokes because I feel like if we get into it, I will start hyperventilating.
Oh no, we have opposite coping mechanisms.
Then, with no further ado, when last we left our heroes, you guys had entered the belly of the beast in order to save your friend captured by your old enemies, the Illithid, also known as the Mind Flayers. You plane shifted to the elemental plane of water. Guided by Lula, you found that there was a fleet of smaller than you know so far, nautiloid ships waiting here at the, in this benthic abyss.
Just a little guy.
You boarded the ship, fought some strange weapons and creations, killed some mind flayers, rescued Cresa, and the return of a long-lost friend, Ione, who you still have not received all the details from, but joined you at the end of that fight. The tide turned, though it was a difficult fight, the tide turned when a mind flayer and an elder brain fled. Sorry, not an elder brain, an intellect devourer fled and plane shifted away, leaving you guys beaten, bruised, but everyone's still alive. However, it was made known to you that an elder brain still sits in the pool helm of this very ship. So, as we leave from last episode and go from the frying pan to the fire, and you all decide what you would like to do, the first thing I'm going to ask is I would like a check-in from each character on how they're feeling about the situation as we sort of pause time very quickly. So, let's begin with Kyana.
Oh,
How does mentally, very briefly, it doesn't have to be a whole thing, but where is Kyana at in this moment?
Bad. Kyana just spent the entire fight paralyzed and broke out of it just in time to see the Mind Flayers escape, and then she didn't even get to kill the one they left behind. Kyana is not doing good. Emotionally, mentally, physically, she's all right. She took no hits in that fight except for getting shot by that gun that paralyzed her for 6 rounds. It's not great. This whole thing is because these guys have been chasing Kyana since episode 0. And now this problem has multiplied and magnified. So at the end of the last episode, Kyana was like, okay, I'll go beat up the Elder Brain. You guys get out of here. That is, unironically, what she wants to happen. She wants everyone else to escape, and then she'll take care of this, because she didn't do it in season 1, and she should have. So, yeah, it's great. I've been in this headspace for 2 weeks, so you guys can imagine how Kyana feels.
Yeah, man.
Kyana, frustrated at being unable to participate in the last fight, at enemies escaping, frustrated at witnessing the thing that she left behind come back to terrorize not only her but other people she knows, seeks to end this in whatever way she can right here, right now. Virla. What is Virla's headspace at this moment?
Ever since Dani died, Virla has been making a very concerted effort to try and, keep an eye on Dani's behavior and just try and... Because Virla's been through a death of a sort, and he knows, at least for him, how that has affected him. And so he's very concerned for his friend. And so throughout this season, he has been trying to kind of make sure that Dani does stuff that she wants to do, especially because for the last 3 seasons, to Virla it feels like Dani has been going along with the things that the rest of us has had to do, which he's very thankful for, but she deserves she deserves her time now. And so at least with this last mission, if the goal was to rescue Cressida, the moment that they had rescued Cressida, Virla was ready to get out. And then, Kyana made the decision to try and go after the Elder Brain. Now, the thing is that Virla also understands the position that Kyana is in as well, because he understands what it's like to leave a task unfinished, and he understands the guilt that can come attached with that. And so, and in the grand thinking and having to remove himself from the perspective of Dani's friend to the greater perspective of a potential emissary of Mystra, for the good of the planescape, at least in this moment, he's going to go along with Kyana's plan, with the full intention of addressing going back to the more personal things that he's been trying to handle. But he's very concerned for Dani. He understands where Kyana's at. He doesn't want another friend to die.
Okay. Voss. What is Voss's fucked up headspace like? What is going
Voss.
on in that absolute rat's nest?
Vhas is exhausted. It's been a crazy past day or two. From leaving Ysgard to carrying on Sigil to
You were in
being whisked
Ysgard
off-
hours ago.
to being whisked
God.
off into the plane of water, only to come face to face with the biggest adversarial force to his culture, to where he was grown, to the culture he was grown under. And he sees this armada and the fate of potentially, the entire planescape, and he looks over at the crew that pilots the Paraspora, and he starts to question whether or not they're capable of addressing the problem in front of them. And he's starting to question whether he can do so as well. Does he have enough to keep pushing forward, or is this time to take a step back? Again, he's tired. It's been a long couple of days, and making that decision right here and right now he's not entirely sure what he's going to do.
It's an impressive feat, for sure. Many, many weaker heroes would not have made it this far, let alone survived this far into the fight. Voss is truly a champion in terms of a fighting machine, a force for dealing with Illithid but even you have to admit in this moment that you might be up against more than you can face. Dani, what is Dani's current headspace?
Dani has gone from general annoyance to problem-solving mode, as she does tend to do in the crew's higher stake moments. I think she's just sort of taking stock of exactly what's happening in real time and trying to immediately think of, the stranger-esque band-aid that she can slap over it. She knows Kyana's frustrated, but she also knows she's volatile. She understands that this is a higher stakes thing than they deal with day to day, even though they've done some crazy things in the past. And I think she understands the gravity of pushing further than their means allow in this moment, and taking stock of what is the best thing for not just the individual members of the crew, but the ship of the Paraspora as it exists. I think she makes a decision about what she's going to do next. And I will hold that decision until appropriate to
I don't like
release
that.
it.
I don't like that.
Dani, I'd like for you to roll me an insight check.
Can do. I'm great at these.
And if only you had the ability to look inside others instead of looking inside yourself.
This is an insight check into you. Actually, it's a little bit you, a little bit someone else.
That is a 17.
17. On a 17, as you think about that, I think maybe Dani thinks back to a few hours ago, which for us was a long time ago, but a few hours ago, when you were at a party and you asked Otto, what will it take for me to get the ship? And he said, if you have to ask, then you're not ready to do it. Maybe you come to think, and not asking is the point. Because asking is going to get you a lot of disagreement. And in this moment, these precious seconds where anything could happen, like over the next 30 seconds, a lot of things could change. There isn't time to argue, from your perspective perhaps. There isn't time to argue in order to solve the problem. Someone has to carry the burden of making a decision without debate or consensus. So, as we pick up, everyone has established what they want to do. Ione is also there.
Before we get into this, how's Ione feeling? Feel free to take as long as you need to.
How is Ione feeling? Ione's actually not doing too bad. So,
Yeah.
against my better judgment, I have taken her from a monster stat block up to a full character sheet. So,
wow.
Ione has some.
That's not
Ione has
good.
some
That's not
tricks.
good. Are you kidding?
I only got tricks.
Against my better judgment, just in terms of my own sanity. But you know what? We're going off the rails anyway.
That means that whatever
Anyway,
Ione,
we're
you got
about to go
promotion.
punch is dangerous enough that Austin
It's
thought,
not a secret.
they need a full monk spell sheet with them.
It's a legendary monster.
yeah,
anyway.
boy.
So I'm going to step back from being the DM, the narrator for characters in a world, and talk to the players right now. Kyana has a course of action she has made very clear. Dani also has a course of action that Sophia has made clear to me that would prevent Kyana's course of action.
Ooh.
So what I'm going to put forward is Sophia's already expressed that she would like to prevent Kyana. Before we go into initiative, Red, if
Yes.
you would like to allow, removing yourself from Kyana, because Kyana obviously has a
Right,
plan and does not want Dani to prevent her. If you would like to allow this plan to play out over this, over the next action, essentially, if you would like Dani to try to prevent Kyana from a player v player, because it's PvP that we're essentially going into.
Right.
If you would like to allow that to happen, we will do that, and then we will enter those rounds of combat where we roll initiative if need be, and continue on where, if Kyana, if she can go off to fight the Elder Brain.
Wait,
That's
I'm
your
sorry.
decision.
So if I agree to Sophia's plan, then combat starts, or
Maybe I'm explaining poorly.
Okay.
If you agree to Sophia's plan, then Dani will attempt to stop Kyana.
okay.
This is a thing that if you want the character drama to happen, because obviously, you have different feelings than Kyana, potentially. If you would like that,
More
if you would like that,
nuanced
if you would like that to happen, you can allow that to happen, and then we're going to enter the thing that everyone assumed we were going to enter, which is combat. Kiana, Red, if you don't want to just allow Sophia this chance to stop Kiana, if you want it to be truly in character, then we will enter initiative. And if Dani has higher initiative, she will get to do her thing before Kiana runs off. So, Red, would you like to allow this this character beat to happen, even though it might really screw Kiana? Or would you like to leave it to the mechanics of the world? I think it's only fair I ask the two people involved, because I ran through a lot of scenarios where it was only up to the dice, where I made the decision, and I think in a PvP it's only fair if the two players decide. And if you decide to leave it up to dice, then we will go that route.
I will still be taking the same actions either way. It just really is on Dani's end whether it happens, who goes first. Yeah.
Fair enough. But yes, one would obviously. Dani
so
would really like to get this off earlier, I'm sure.
Whatever you guys decide.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm inclined to. Basically, the only reason I'm not immediately going for I think Sophia should do that, because Kiana spent a lot of the end of the last session being like, no, guys, I'm going to do that, explaining herself instead of just sprinting. So I think that Dani would have a chance to be like, nope, executive decision. But then I was like, oh, but Kiana does have reason to sometimes anticipate danger from Dani. So, but I honestly don't think she's in the right headspace to even consider that right now. I'm willing to. From
your perspective as a player,
forgetting,
would you like, because this is kind of stepping on rules as written, technically, it should be like an initiative sense, but
right.
If you would like to allow this dramatic beat to happen outside of initiative, we can. If you want to go right into initiative, we'll roll the dice.
Well, that's the thing. It's I think from a writer's room standpoint, it actually makes a lot more sense for Dani to be able to fire off whatever she wants to do before Kiana has a chance to anticipate it or run out from under it, just because she spent her time talking and explaining. Red would love to not have to worry about fighting an elder brain and potentially getting the entire party killed. Red also loves the drama, so, but I legitimately think that character-wise, it makes the most sense for Kiana to be like, all right, I'll go solve this problem for you guys, don't worry, I'll just go hit it till it breaks, and the last thing she is expecting is for Dani to do something against that.
All right, so.
The one time that Kiana's surprised.
Yeah.
As Kiana goes to run upstairs, having explained at the end of the last episode her entire thought process, Ione, looks from one person to the other, too anxious to make any declaration in this moment about what the course of action should be. There's definitely, especially from Kiana who has high insight, there's definitely a sense of she just saved you here, but you guys left on such uncertain terms the last time you parted ways. She has been off on her own. She has no idea where she's standing with this group, whether she is an ally you guys are just so happy to see. Obviously we know the audience feels that way, but whether she's an ally that everyone's just really happy to see, or if this is a really mixed bag, or if this is a harbinger of doom from every other time you've seen her. She has no idea what to. Sort of Tylee watching Azula and May at the end of the Boiling Rock, looking between. Dani, would you like to take your action?
Yeah. Dani will see Kiana about to do a heel turn as she starts to unstun and immediately reach for the Amulet of the Planes and cast Plane Shift on Kiana.
All right. So the first thing,
Kiana. Austin and I have discussed
the way that plane shift works
about how this works on a single target.
So the way plane shift works is plane shift is either
a heroic sacrifice.
I think literally pivot on your heel. Anyway.
Oh, okay. So plane shift, plane shift.
The way plane shift works is that you can either cast it as a big, kumbaya circle, everyone's willing to go, you all grab hands, you can move 8 people, I think, maybe including the caster, I forget. You can move a bunch of people. If you want to use it as an attack, you target one person, and there is a series of there's a series of rolls that's about to happen. So, Dani, the first thing I need you to do in order to make the amulet work correctly is make a DC 15 intelligence check, or you're going to send everyone right here into a random plane of existence and leave the ship behind, by the way.
Yep, try not to do that.
By everyone, does that include the Elder Brain?
Within 15 feet.
Elder Brain was just around this corner.
The Elder Brain?
Elderblade. I've been saying it like that all week.
That is a 16, so it just passes.
Okay.
Oh my god. This is
You
already
do
off to
not-
a roaring start.
You do not send everyone to a random plane of existence, which is a shame because I had a random table. There's still time.
We're all going to Carcerai.
God damn it.
I now need you to make a melee spell attack against Kyana. So this is just your spell modifier. It's your intelligence plus your proficiency against Kiana's AC. So go ahead and roll.
I hate to do this because I'm hasted. Is my AC +2?
Your AC is +2.
Yes.
All right, it's 20.
Okay, well, with a 16 plus 9, that'll take me to 25, so I do hit Kyana.
That's 25. All right.
Incredible.
Kyana, the very last thing the last roll is I'm going to need you to please make a charisma saving throw.
A charisma saving throw. My god.
It's my spell save DC, right?
It's your spell save DC, which is quite high.
17.
All right, my charisma's +1. Oh. Well, that die just fucking went flying. I'll use another one.
Okay, this is so crazy.
15. So that's 16.
You fail.
I just fail.
You
Is
just
there
failed.
before we do anything else, before we decide, are there any inspirations or anything that anyone has and would like to use? This is obviously a big character beat. It's very dramatic, so I just want to put that out there before we make a canon decision. Anything anyone would like to use to bump Kiana's if they so choose.
I will not be giving her my last flash of genius.
I don't think I'm going to use that bardic inspiration I got from Voss.
It turns out that I've had lucky this whole time.
I mean, well, if
That's not
wait,
how that
Kyana,
works.
do you still have a bardic inspiration?
It's on my notes, but I don't know if I trust that. It might have been from the wedding fight, and I don't think those last.
I
they
think.
only last 10
Did you
minutes.
use it? Did you use it against the stun?
No, because by the time I got to the round where I was going to, and all the things were
Because
piled up, it was the end
Voss
of the...
definitely sent you an inspiration,
Yeah.
I believe, because he
well,
said
I'm
that
not
you
going to use it
needed-
anyway. I'm too
Okay.
excited by what's about to happen.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And well, okay. Wait. Here's a question though. Here's a question. Would Kyana use her inspiration?
I think Kyana doesn't know what's happening right now.
Okay,
I'll tell you
fair
right
enough.
now, Voss wants you to go fight this brain.
I
Fuck
know.
you, Voss.
Has
Fuck you.
your permission.
You're new. You don't know.
Okay. All right.
But Voss is giving Kiana permission to use the inspiration that he gave her anyway.
Just a little pocket Voss, like, psst,
Yep.
+2 on D8.
Okay, Kyana, as you run, hands reaching for your sword, you could make it to this Elder Brain in one single round.
I can. I could move 90 without even using my dash.
You see Dani from seemingly nowhere pulls out the amulet. There's a brief flash from it, and as she reaches out, just barely brushes against you. You try to withstand, and as you do, there's a brief moment, Dani, where you're convinced she has resisted it, where she kind of like her form shivers back and forth like it can't decide the physical space it's about to occupy, and then she does the telltale plane shift, expand out, collapse inward. Where does Kyana end up?
Sigil, if that's one of the options I can send her to.
You can send you succeeded on your check. Where in Sigil would you like to send her? Plane shift lets you know that you can just name Sigil. You can also name a location like the Guild of the Searing Tongue, and she could appear inside, outside. Like it gets kind of vague with specifics, but you could try to send her somewhere specific if you would like.
I'm gonna go with the Sprite Spring, just because I know that there are familiar people there, and it's a bar,
Okay.
and there's
I mean-
somewhere to kill time.
No one there because it's everyone's at the wedding. But
Where did we send Cressida?
what you told? That's a great question. Why don't you roll an insight check for me, actually?
Me? Oh,
I think-
sure.
Because
Gosh.
Virla told Lula to go to Sigil.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Sorry, it landed in my pile of dice. 18.
18? Okay, so Virla is a dumb animal, basically. She's got an intelligence of like 6 or something.
Lula is a dumb
Sorry,
animal.
Lula. What did I say?
Virla.
Virla?
Virla is
I was
a
like,
dumb animal.
that
Okay,
is
here's the
so
thing,
mean.
because
That's
of the whole
really
Sigil,
insulting.
because
Sorry,
Virla didn't
Lula-
specify a specific location in Sigil, I was fully gonna just accept that at face value. Like, Virla's a dumb guy who doesn't know where to specify.
No. Heat of the battle, it makes total sense. You're like, where would Lula go if I told her to go back to the place we met her? Probably just the place we met her. So,
Like the docks?
that's not where you met her.
Here is
Just last time.
Where did you kidnap me?
That was
Mechanus.
Mechanus.
Right.
Literally where she found you guys this last time. She was like,
in
that's
the
where they
party
live.
hall.
Yeah,
The party
Hira-
hall.
Hira's
Yeah,
palace.
she went back to Hira's because
Okay.
she was like, that's where they live.
Oh,
So,
Lula.
so
So the odds of me getting Dani bamfed to wherever Lula is with Cressida are
Yeah.
a little bit low.
well, you plane shift out, and as you appear, you stumble as steps you were about to go up suddenly become, well, slightly curved, because all of Sigil is curved, but slightly curved cobblestone, and you look around at the, it's evening, the lights are all on, this beautiful, tranquil street. There's some people, like, singing down the street. You can hear, like, a bar song. The Sprite Spring is closed, because Peace Blossom and the Eladrin, whose name I'm forgetting, Sidony, are both at the party, last you checked. So the Sprite Spring is closed, and you are in this peaceful, tranquil space. How does Kyana react?
No! Okay.
All right, we're going to cut back to the adventurers on the...
Oh, I'm not an adventurer
cut back to the
anymore.
adventurers in the plane of water on the nautiloid. How does everyone else react to Dani's action just now?
Virla's gonna like look around wildly, but I think he does clock eventually that Dani has the amulet out.
Probably when Dani shouts, taken care of, get to the ship, and just starts to hustle.
All right, at this point, I would like people to please roll me initiative.
Sure.
Okay.
Does that include me, or am I just sulking?
Kiana, what does Kiana want to do? I assume that the insight check is kind of a passive thing that has happened.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I
already,
think-
so...
When the initial rage wears off after 6 seconds because I'm unable to punch anything, mechanically, I'm sure that's how it works. I think she'll try and find Cressida wherever she is.
Are you serious?
Okay.
I did.
So,
17
I did ask. I
Are
did
you
ask the
serious?
dice. I did ask the dice to be nice to me, but we're not even fighting the Elder Brain anymore.
everyone got a 17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so fun. Okay. Fantastic. Oh man, this
Mr.
is gonna
agrees.
Be
That's
this
what
is
that
gonna
means.
Be a
Mr.
wild
agrees with this
ride.
decision.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, I need my spell
Mr.
check.
Take the wheel.
Oh god.
In response to Dani saying, like, situation handled, get to the ship, he will compose himself, give a nod, and say, I'm with you.
17 to 17
Fantastic.
communication.
Do any of you guys say anything to Ione, who's still like kind of not sure what to make of the
Dani
situation?
will sort of like gesture, like anytime she's gesturing to the rest of the crew to be like, get to the ship, she sort of includes Ione in that as much as like angry grunts can include someone. Like I think she's sort of just assuming that she will work with us or follow us, but I don't think Dani thinks to explicitly extend that invitation, if that makes sense.
All right.
Virla might think that Ione is kind of concerned as to where Kiana went, and so he'll, as he like, kind of like formally like kind of gives like a gesture to like come on and come with us, he'll say, "She's fine. It's Dani."
Okay. So, real quick initiative. We have everyone coming in at 17.
Yeah.
We have the exception of two things. Ione is coming in at a 14.
Okay.
Oh, we beat the monk.
You did. She rolled an even 10. And the Elder Brain is coming in at a natural 20.
Fuck.
Good work, team!
Okay. Okay. Alright, fine.
We run.
See, the bigger stressor for me is I still have all the potions of water breathing.
We got like 50 minutes left on ours. We're fine.
It was like an hour, right?
Ione didn't
Yeah.
get one!
Ione can hold her breath. It's fine.
She can hold her breath for, let's check what her constitution is.
Don't you dare. We
She can hold her
just
breath
got
for
her
3
back.
minutes. She's
Wow.
got 3 minutes.
That's 3 minutes.
That's
3 minutes.
fine.
You're good.
The ship's like
as you
30
go-
feet away.
I'm trying to think. Actually, I'm gonna have to roll a previous investigation check for Ione to figure out how much she knows about what's going on. She rolls a natural 1.
Oh, God.
You see, she looks back to where the I'm gonna keep doing that. The intellect devourer has plane shifted away, and there's a very clear sense of like, damn, the thing I was after is gone. And she looks to you, Virla's reassurance, then looks to Dani and gives a nod. So the first thing we're gonna do is. The Elder Brain on its initiative is going to use its action to control the tentacles. So
Vaguely.
reach
generally.
30
The
feet,
tentacles.
which your ship is within 30 feet.
This is what I was worried about.
This has a plus. Could someone please pull up the stats for the ship, please?
Okay.
Yes, DM. Yeah. What do you want? What do you want?
All right, here we go. This is a melee weapon attack against the ship. That's only going to be an 11 to hit.
That does not hit.
Oh,
Fantastic. You guys feel as the
That's my
ship
girl.
jerks and begins to come alive. Tentacles, you don't see it, but you can feel the ship is moving now. Tentacles reach out and like brush against the ship of the Paraspora, but it is magically enchanted, so it's not as easy as literally just touching it. The tentacles begin to crawl over, but it doesn't get a good enough hold to like crush this round, which is what it was really hoping to do. So that's awesome. So that brings us to everyone else, and we are going to go ahead. Everyone is standing at the bottom of the staircase. I don't think we actually need this battle map, but just for speed purposes, getting out of the ship is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. It's all... We're going to call it 90 feet to get outside.
Right.
So,
Right then.
anything anyone would like to do right now, it's all of your initiative except Ione, who's going to follow you guys. So, what would everyone like to do?
Virla, how far does Dimension Door take you?
I don't have the energy for that.
Shit.
I'm still fast. I can get there. Get the ship going.
Voss, go and get ready to plane shift out.
Say less.
Don't
And
make me regret this.
he kind of stops as he, starts moving up the stairs. He turns around, gives you guys a wink, and dips.
I'm gonna
All right,
regret this,
what's
aren't I?
Voss's speed?
Currently hasted, his base speed is 60.
Okay, so on a dash, he's going to... Oh, and you have an extra action, too. Voss can get
To the ship.
on the ship this round.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Voss, can you get the ship out of here on your own?
That I can.
I can get the rest of us out. Meet in Sigil.
I don't know if I agree with this, but Virla would not say that. Virla's like in triage mode.
Sure.
I
See you there.
see you there. Turn to the rest of the crew. We can plane shift right now.
All right, Voss, for reasons of random plane shifting, I'm going to assume Voss runs off. Voss goes up the stairs. Dani, if you're going to attempt to use the amulet again, I'm going to need another DC 15 intelligence check.
Just if Voss plane shifts to the astral sea, could we plane shift to the Paraspora?
You're going to have to wait at least another round to do that. Also,
Yeah.
no, you can't. No, you have to name like a location, which
Okay.
the Paraspa wouldn't be a location. So
Yeah, I'm just
Can
thinking
hang out with
because
Stranger for a little while.
yeah, you can hang out with Stranger.
I'm just thinking because Voss is so fast, he could basically get the ship out almost immediately. By the time we would all get there, several rounds would have passed.
Voss is only going to have to endure, if Voss is doing this, he's only going to have to endure one more attack by the tentacles. If he's waiting for you guys, there's going to be several rounds
Yeah.
of that.
That's fine then.
Okay, Dani's gonna attempt to
Okay.
plane shift again and take everyone else in the room with her.
Okay. You reach out, touch Virla. Ione will also grab onto Virla as she realizes what's happening.
Yeah.
19.
19 is high enough. Everyone plane shifts. Dani, where would you like to go?
Also Sigil, if I can. I told Voss to meet us there.
Okay, where in Sigil?
I'll do the Sprite Spare again, since that's where I sent Kyana.
All right, Kyana, you begin to run away, and as you do, about 8 feet above the ground, you watch Ione, Dani, and Virla materialize, just fall down. Ione catches herself perfectly because she's a monk. You watch as Dani and Virla just make the acrobatics checks for the fun of it.
Ione doesn't need to make a check.
It's a natural
She's got
20.
slow fall.
Ione is the DM's specialist girl.
That's the 7.
You got a natty.
7. You watch Dani, Ione, perfect cat's landing. Dani,
Thud.
also like perfect landing. 'Cause, there's a little more impact. Ione's
Superhero
silent.
landing.
Dani hits a little bit, but like you can feel it. Virla, boom, onto his back. It's very reminiscent of the last time you saw him
Virla
fall.
versus Gravity and
petty
Sigil
bitch.
fight.
You can almost feel a mask-wearing, blade-crowned woman give a little half smile at the irony of it.
The moment Virla is able to, he's gonna get up and he's gonna like attempt to arcane recovery, but I think because he's already done it, nothing's gonna happen. He just wants to try and get like a 3rd level back so he can cast Sending to Voss and just make sure that.
Yeah, I think if you've already done it, then you've already. Arcane Recovery also only works on a short rest, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I meant on a short.
Should
Yeah,
I
he's
have-
gonna take a short rest, but it's not. He wants to. He's trying to. He can't do it.
Should I have rolled initiative to determine if I could have already been 90 feet towards where I think Cressida is?
I'll allow you to have already been 90 feet towards where Cressida is when you see this happening. So, what would Kyana? We're going to enter this role playing, and then we're going to cut back to Voss. What would you like to do, Kyana?
Still moving. She's too worried about Cressida, I think. That like single tear of blood is still worrying for her.
It is worrying.
Yeah. So, all right, deal with that later.
If we see Kyana running, I'm gonna follow her.
Good luck.
You see Kyana go.
In my own time.
And Virla, you take off as well.
Virla,
Yeah.
can you keep an eye on her? I'm gonna get the ship.
Okay. Good luck.
Meet at Heroes.
What?
Or wherever she's going. I don't know. I'll go to Heroes if I don't hear from you.
Yes. I think that's
I only turns to you, Dan. She's like, "Are you going back there?"
No, I'm going to the docks because that's where I assume the ship will be. You should go with them. You have info, I guess. I assume.
Dani,
There's a lot.
the ship can only. I don't think the ship can plane shift to Sigil. It has to go to the Astral Sea and then sail.
Voss is gonna be a bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I thought we had shifted to. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Then Dani will follow the rest of the crew. Then disregard.
All right, cool.
Because I think
was
the thing that he
Sophia
could use to plane
misunderstanding.
shift to Sigil was what you just used to plane shift us to Sigil.
I thought we had a tuning fork for Sigil, but I think maybe that's the actual Astral Sea one that I'm thinking of. So never mind.
You had one for Sigil, and then you turned it into slag when you overclocked.
Right. All right.
I thought that was for the material plane.
That one was loaned to you by Maxim.
Maxim,
See,
we
folks,
gave
we're
that
studying up on our tuning forks.
But I thought the material plane tuning fork was the one that got slagged for overclock because that was getting to.
That was getting
that was
to
getting
Sigil so that you could save Elise from the guild hall.
Oh,
And commit
right.
atrocity.
Okay.
That was Sophia.
This
not
is redemption
remembering
for our
which...
last tuning fork fiasco that we just forgot about.
The
we are very
material
acutely
plane
aware.
one was borrowed from Maxim because he had
Yeah.
it lying around,
Yeah.
as he has all of his stupid treasures lying around.
Yeah.
And you guys returned that
Maxim.
afterwards because he was like, "You give me something, I'll give you this, and then we'll trade back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That was
anyway.
Sophia misremembering how many tuning forks we had. Dani would have just gone with the crew, knowing that they did not have a tuning fork directly to Sigil, and Voss might be a while.
Man, imagine fucking Voss like sees a tuning fork, you're like, well, here goes nothing, and then the plane shifts to limbo.
Oh man.
Could be fun.
Fantastic. Well, so you guys are just out of combat. You're gonna run. You'll get to Here's Place
Don't
momentarily.
Voss.
Well,
Please
Let's
I
go
don't
back.
die.
Voss, you, with your, assuming you use your dashes to get through the water and stuff like that, you run up through the ship, jump over dead bodies of mind flayers that you've already killed, out through the door, out into the water, swim past. You see now the tentacles starting to wrap around the bow of the Paraspora. You swim past them with your, hasted speed up the mast towards the helm. They are going to make their next attack against the Paraspora, on the Elderbrain's next action. That's going to be a 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Okay, here
I
we
think
go.
that also passes the mishap threshold as well. Actually,
Don't-
nope, never mind.
No,
30
no.
is... Wait,
It's damage that you have to worry about
Yeah.
for mishaps.
yes, you're right.
So here we go. That's going to be 4d10 bludgeoning damage. Oh, that was terrible, actually.
Okay.
Go.
14 bludgeoning damage. I don't think
Okay.
that
That does
even
not
passes
meet the damage threshold.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So it takes no damage. It is the nautiloid speed until the spell. The target ship speed becomes 0 until the nautiloid releases it. So you can't sail away currently.
But plane shift would work?
I don't know if that's going to be a problem for Voss. Voss, as you enter the helm and you watch the Paraspora being, loomed over by this nautiloid, you also see. Go ahead and roll me a perception check real quick.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It's not your action, and then we'll get to your action.
Sonny
Well,
and
can I-
Plugger on the ship.
Can I share what you sent me? What you asked me?
Yeah, you can share, sure.
First,
Wally
hold.
asked-
Hold.
Okay, all right.
Hold.
Yes,
Let's
stuff may happen. So
Let's let this happen.
Wally, what's your
and then-
perception check?
I rolled an 18.
18. You start to see the other nautiloids mobilizing as they start to drift along. This one coming at you. The situation is getting dire. The elder brains have the ability to sense intelligent life. So obviously Virla isn't included in that, but no. But they're able to sense
animal
intelligent. They're able to sense intelligent life within 5 miles. So they all know you're here. And what has happened so far is them assuming that you are a bunch of rats they could drown. And now that the cat's out of the bag, they are beginning to come in to squash the problem.
Get the fuck out of there, man.
Fun.
Okay.
What does Voss think about as he sits in the chair? And I'd like to point out. I mean, would you like
It's
to
not as
point out a
comfy
couple
without
things, or would you
Virla.
like me to point out a couple things and then explain, and then you explain what Voss wants to do?
He kind of takes a second. He looks around the helm. He sees empty bottles of Dani. He picks up the manual that Dani gave him. He picks it up. He leafs through it. He says, holodeck. Okay. If we're going to leave here, we're going to do it in style. One thing at a time. Tentacles coming in. The nautiloids. He says, all right. Let's see if we can power this up. Clicks a couple of buttons. Says, well, I'm not stupid. Can't take them all on. Not today. Some other day. Hopefully. Or I can take it from one thing at a time. Anyways, he's going to dash out of the helm.
Okay.
For the holodeck. He's going
You
to
enter down to the holodeck room.
use his hasted action to uncloak the paraspa.
Oh yeah, it's invisible.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
They already know I'm here. Let's make it a show. Ed says, can we do Ancient Red Dragon? Yeah, let's do something like that.
Can we do Ancient Red Dragon?
You watch as under the water, ship appears and then morphs into this gargantuan dragon where the masts come off, wings, and slowly beating its wings.
If you're gonna do it, I
the
think
water.
you're gonna be doing this is the most based thing ever.
All right. Can't make. He doesn't have thaumaturgy. I should have. Oh my god. That'd be the icing on the cake here, but it's enough. And he's going to use the rest of his haste action right back into the helm. He says, all right, Astral Sea, that's what we're doing?
Yeah. All the ships hesitate for just a moment as they watch the image of a Gith Yankee astride a ancient red dragon appear in front of them. Voss, I'm gonna point a couple things out, and then I'm gonna ask Voss a question. Everyone is gone. Voss is the solely attuned helmsman of this spelljammer, one of the most rare and useful items in all of the Planescape.
Focus on this.
We'll
hunt you down.
He knows the location of an entire fleet of Illithid that have been somehow hiding under the very noses of the Planescape for we don't know how long. And you know the name and location, probably, of not only the people who broke into Tunarath and destroyed Vlakith's pet project, humiliated them, and the greatest sacrilege of all, stole one of their silver swords to use for themselves.
When you were stuck in
Technically
prison.
two.
Let's not forget that.
Technically 2 of the silver swords.
The Gith Yankee shunned you for being weak and being a failure. If anything would dissuade them of the notion that you are weak and a failure, it would be showing up with a spelljammer on a silver platter, knowing what you know. What would Voss like to do?
I think Virla's been really nice to him, personally.
Well, I think they could all kick rocks. Like I said, I'm Bloodless Voss, hero of Eastgard, and one day I'm going to take every single one of these nautiloids out. I'll do it myself.
All right. So you plane shift not to Tunarath,
Nope.
but
I like how with us it's like, now Kyana, are you okay with getting subjected out of the fight? And for this it's like, so Voss, you want to fucking steal the ship and 2 companions?
All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking
Captain Plug is still
Wally
present.
Wally sends me, not like, is it okay? It was, how mad would y'all be if Voss steals the ship?
What? You guys were
God.
getting updated?
I'd be madder if Sonny was still on the ship when it happened.
Me,
Plug is on the
Noir,
ship.
would think it's the best thing ever. I think that'd be amazing if that ended up happening, because it makes perfect sense, but Virila's been on the fence about Voss, and this would have been a tipping point. I think it still is a tipping point in a sense. So.
Incredible.
fantastic. The ship collapses out of existence. The water kind of implodes in this area where the ship was taking up space. Voss, you arrive on the astral sea, and where are you setting your course to?
Well, man of me word. Boss will be mad if I don't show up with his ship. So, let's go find Sigil.
All right.
One of these twinkly
There
stars.
is a navigation thing in the helm room, so you can find the nearest portal. It is going to take you a little bit, and
Well, this
likely
is
you won't
excellent
be arriving
adventure.
until after the next events have long transpired. So let's cut back. Everyone racing. Kyana far ahead until you get stunned for a round because Voss's haste drops.
But the
and
question
then-
is, can I get there with, let's see, it's 90 feet for a hasted action, a hasted movement
So
action.
your movement is 90 because
Mm-hmm.
it's doubled, and then you can run 90 twice more, 3 times more because you can use your
Yeah.
action, your hasted
So I
action,
can move
and your bonus action.
360 feet around.
Move 360 feet
So
around.
much fun.
Even for 4 rounds, that's very far, but that's not quite enough to make it. So you're not going to make it while still hasted, but you're gonna get there so much before everyone else.
Well,
So-
here's the question. In the minute, because Kiana's exhausted for how long? Just 1 round?
1 round, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
She stops for 1 round. You guys move 60 feet closer to her, and then she goes
does
again.
Yeah.
even 120 if we're just fully dashing.
That is with you dashing. You guys only walks 30 feet in a round.
Oh fuck, you're right. God damn it. I play.
So
I'm
Kiana's
playing another
fast.
game where I'm a swashbuckler rogue, and never mind.
Swashbuckler Road, very, very awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm currently moving at
you
40
guys know
miles
one
an
of those?
hour.
Oh,
Kiana's just running through the streets, dust, getting kicked up as she goes.
you're moving
Roadrunner
around at the speed of
style?
sound. Got places to go. You gotta find your own rainbow.
You know that meme with Sonic, the kid in the Sonic costume? It's like, I cannot outrun the pain. That's where Kiana's at
If
right
you are
now.
faster than the speed of light, you are forever in darkness. Oh
Jesus
man! All right.
Christ.
All right, Kyana, you arrive first at Hira's. You enter through the still open door because it's been kind of an open door policy for this whole thing. You run in, kind of look around, figure out what's going on. You don't see anyone. Lula's not evident. You go to the place where literally she saw you guys, which is the party room. And Lula is there standing protectively over the unconscious body of Cressida, and there's just a bunch of party people all looking around trying to figure out what the shit is going on. You see Everin is there and he keeps being like, give them space, please, give them space. And then he'll try to approach, and Lula will kind of stomp around a little bit, and he backs up a little bit. The heap is still there. You see Davian and Athos are still there, watching. Athos is kind of concerned, and Davian has this very inscrutable expression on his face.
Where's my boy Roy?
Roy is there
He was toasted before we left.
no one is right next to Cressida, but he is pretty close, standing and looking. He's behind Everin a little bit, and keeps every time Everin moves, he's kind of moves his head to get a view of the situation.
Okay.
And you see, there's just a bunch of people from the party are still hanging around, and everyone has basically turned their attention to the enormous spider they saw an hour ago, and it's an hour and a half-ish ago, and all of y'all and Cressida with her now, and then you enter. And everyone will immediately look up and says, "Oh, good heavens, Kyana, thank goodness. Are you familiar?" He pulls out a little thing and starts dabbing his forehead. Are you, you're familiar with this arachnid? And do you have any information on the disruption that's being, that is occurring
She
inside
had
of the
an
Grand
invite.
Hall of the Grand Connoisseur?
It's fine. It's fine. Can anyone here heal?
You rush in. Lula sees you and like backs up because she knows you. You come in. Cressida is still unconscious, and you see like glassy look in her eye. The blood at this point that's down her eye has dried. She's breathing, but she is like totally non-responsive. There's no light or pupils or anything. As you say, can anyone in here heal? There's like a long pause as everyone like kind of looks amongst each other. Like you see a lot of the crew the heap crew be like in the back, and then from behind the crowd of people, you hear, "Yeah."
Hans! Oh, get in here, you old so-and-so.
You see a little, beaten down Hans walks up. This is your friend? Yeah?
Yeah, we just pulled her out of, You know what? It's fine.
Do you have, does she need, what can I be doing for her? I'm very bad at my German. You're going to have to forgive me on this one. In fact, I might even drop it.
Can you tell what's wrong with her? I don't know, this isn't my area.
Yeah, I would. He looks up, motions with his hands, and says, "I'm working on it." Yelling at Arcadios.
Right. Yeah. I'd eavesdrop, but I am far too stressed.
Are you gonna tell him anything, or is he just gonna make a medicine check?
I'm gonna say we pulled her out of a mind flayer nautiloid. Is it the worst case scenario?
Oh, mind flayers. What do I know about mind flayers? I know that we should smite them. Yes. He's gonna go ahead and make an Arcana check to see if he knows how to deal with this. I mean, he has healing magic. It's not like he's like total. It's like he doesn't have guesses if he fails, but he's gonna go ahead and roll. That's actually not so hot at a 7. He starts like kind of flipping through, and you hear from behind, doesn't move or anything, he's like actually leaning against a table with his arms folded. You hear Davian goes, "Whatever you're going to do, I suggest you do not half-ass it. If this is a mind flare, then time is of the essence, and so is power." Hans looks up.
So you think...
Go on, Kyana.
Well, I was just gonna... So you think it's... You think she's...
Turning.
Alive? Technically, yes. Alive as herself? That is still a question. Depends on how long it has been since you have rescued her from the evil clutches.
Less than a minute, basically.
Less than a minute. I think.
Well, less than like 2
work.
minutes. Yeah. Okay.
He says you should get to work. He says to Hans. Hans. Yeah. All right. He's going to set her. He like takes off part of his like nice coat that he's wearing, like folds it up, puts it under her head. Lula is at this point like standing behind you, Kyana, and is just like feet are moving constantly, like tap 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 tap.
Oh,
tap,
exactly
tap,
the same mood over here.
At this point, go ahead and say Virla, Dani, you guys both arrive. As you see, Hans is like laying out. You see and Ione as well. You see Hans is laying out different like little. He's pulling from his bag like little bits of herb and candles and things like that. Kind of like puts out a candle, lights it by pinching his fingers on it, like a reverse putting it out kind of situation. All right. So, Virla, you have researched mind flayers since your last dealing with them, and since the close brush with Ceremorphosis. You are aware that, by now having thought through it, there is a tadpole contained within Cressida's head. Over the course of 1 hour from it being introduced, it will eat the brain, it'll consume the brain, basically form a new brain, and then over the course of a week, transform the body into that of an illithid.
Yeah.
The first hour is extremely crucial, because that is the difference between someone who is savable by like powerful means and someone who is savable by superbly powerful means.
Can I tell at which point of the Ceremorphosis she's in? Like, she hasn't turned.
Go
there are
ahead.
No physical signs, and so I'm
There was
assuming
no
that-
physical signs. It's been way less than a week. Like, Lula came to get you guys. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's
My
And
not...
hunch
we
that it's
plane
less-
shifted almost straight there.
Yeah, my hunch
You-
is that it's been less than an hour, but I want to be sure.
Fantastic. You go ahead and make me a medicine check, please.
Okay.
I also need to
Not as good as these, but
check my notes.
that's not as good. 8.
8? Yeah,
8.
sorry, you don't know. But I will tell you, this is what I'll tell you. If it has been soon enough, then you can use a heal spell to purge the creature from her system as a 7th level spell. A 6th
Okay.
level spell? I'm going to double check that. If it has been longer, the thing that you can do is crack her skull, remove the tadpole, which will kill her, and then resurrect her.
I'm going
So,
to.
what I'm gonna do right now.
Relay this information to Hans, just so that we.
I'm
don't
going to see if
freak out the
Hans
other-
has heal prepared.
Oh fuck! How about we just say
If
yeah
not-
for the? Yeah.
I believe it's a 6th level spell, so I think he has access to those. Let me double check. I honestly didn't even check because I didn't want to. I didn't want to like set myself up too much. Like
Hans is
knowing
like
what
getting
would happen.
ready for the wedding. He's like, why would I need heal? This is going to be a happy
Hans
occasion.
knows this crowd, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Great
knows the
food and
kinds of
drink.
shit.
That's all he has prepared.
Why would he do that? It's going to a party with food and drink.
All right.
That's
What
more
levels,
gauche than being like, oh, I got McDonald's on the way over. Don't worry about it.
The only 6th level spell he has
Bro.
is prepared is Blade Barrier,
Okay.
which would do a very good job of killing her if that is your goal.
Uh,
Does anyone have the diamonds or means necessary to perform a resurrection?
I still have 500 diamonds in my inventory.
I
500 gold
can
piece worth of
cast-
Does Hans have resurrection?
Does
What'd you
Hans
say,
have res-
Noir?
Does Hans have resurrect? Wait, hold on. No, that's not reincarnate. Never mind.
Let me double check and see if he has any resurrection spells available.
Because I was going
Sorry.
to say.
Sophia, what were you going to say?
I have 1 3rd level spell slot and Revivify, but it would need to be like on it.
Very, very quick squid
Well,
removal.
the good news is you don't need to be super careful removing it, because your plan is to kill her anyway.
Oh man. Oh.
Someone is going to have to do it, though. Would anyone here like to?
Just quick litmus test, or just quick like, is there time for like Kyana to run and find a healer in Sigil?
I mean, like, you rolled an 8 medicine check. Like, there definitely could be time. You could have,
Okay.
like, upwards of... she could have been turned, like, had it implanted in her brain, like, minutes ago. You could have almost an hour.
Everett
You could
works
have been
for, like,
59
a
minutes
rich
ago.
guy.
You could have 30 seconds left.
Oh my god.
All right.
Choose, Spider-Man!
Fuck you, Austin. All right, I'm going to say, I'm gonna direct to Hans and Kyana. Get her in a back room. No one else should see this. Basically.
All right. Gonna take her to Elise's immaculately kept
No.
kitchen.
She doesn't need to know about this. She's
She
not
doesn't
here.
need to know.
She's on her
As
honeymoon.
we're walking over, I'm basically going to
Everyone
be
will point to the kitchen door because it's right there.
Yeah,
and say,
just-
there's utilities in there. Tools.
Thank you.
God.
As we're walking over, I'm going to relay all the information that you just told me to Hans and the rest of them, and basically outlay that these are the options. I'll be fully like on the table. Like, I don't know how far along she is. We might have time to get a healer, but more importantly,
There is
we might
one
not.
more. There's one more thing. Hans could attempt a miracle. Hans could attempt. He's over 10th level cleric. He could attempt to call upon the divine will of his patron to
Well-
solve the problem permanently.
Can't hurt to try that first.
Yeah.
How long?
Also-
like time-wise.
Yeah,
What-
well,
what's
that
that?
takes
I
how
believe
long?
it's just one action, actually.
Perfect.
All right, then, yeah, absolutely.
Also,
Hans.
if Athos and Davian haven't already followed us in, I'm gonna like grab Davian by the collar on our way in.
Okay, you grab. You go actually to grab date. Go ahead, make me like a contested. Make me an athletics check, but he's gonna make a contested like charisma roll.
19.
You get him. Yeah. Please, Fantastic. So yeah. So by the way, guys, you have caught up to Hans in terms of level. As
that's
powerful as
cool.
Hans was when you
That's
last dealt with him, you are on his level now. You guys come in. All right. I've never attempted this before, so please, if you would not, don't.
Time is of the
don't
essence,
watch.
Hans. Please
Just
go.
It's fine. We won't
All right.
work.
I'm gonna roll on D&D Beyond here. I'm gonna roll 1d100. He needs to roll an 11 or lower.
D&D Beyond, you said?
Roll 20.
Oh, sorry, on roll 20. All right, here we go. He's rolling 11 or lower.
Oof.
Almost as far as
The
you could get.
exact opposite.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
He
All
rolls a
right.
93. You watch as he's whispering under his breath, and he opens his eyes. He says, "Yeah,
Virla's looking for a butcher knife.
nothing to.
Jesus.
He does not. He's not willing to put his neck out for this one."
He's
Okay.
looking for like a meat tenderizer, just anything.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Kiana's going to give the entire pouch of 595 gold pieces worth of diamonds to Dani and walk out of the room.
Dani will let her leave and start prepping Revivify.
Before.
All right.
Okay, never mind.
One thing at
Dani,
a time,
you-
Virla.
This is a spell that takes only a single action, but it is a powerful spell. What is Dani doing to get ready for this? Is this something that it takes a lot more care than her usual spells, or is this the same kind of? Is she giving it? Does Dani cast the spell the same slapdash way she handles most of her problems?
I think in this instance, because it is not kind of a instant thing, she is able to sort of close her eyes and breathe a little and be
It
like,
does take one action.
yeah, I mean more like not in the heat of battle running by and like smacking a Revivify
Understood,
on someone.
understood.
It is like, okay, we've made a plan, it's happening. Don't think Dani's doing it quite as slapdash as she would be, but she does take a second to like close her eyes, breathe in, and when she breathes out, there's like a little bit of like black smoke that comes out as she sort of gets the magic ready.
You reach down into that deep part of yourself that knows how to mend broken things. And even though you have never been a healer, what is a being if just not, another very complicated machine that needs listening to and attention and mending? Virla,
So
do you want to do it? Do you want to ask someone else to do it?
So I first
Hans
of all,
does not have the stomach to do this. So
I'm going to assume that given like the kind of exotic kinds of beasts that go through this kitchen, there is something akin to a bone saw, like literally something that has like a hacksaw
Yes.
type thing that can. So I'm gonna find one of those, and I'm gonna find a meat tenderizer. I'm gonna go to Athos and Davion. I'm gonna hand the bone saw to Davion and the meat tenderizer to Athos and say, scalpel or hammer. Basically asking them which one of you has the stomach to do this, because I definitely don't.
Athos and Davian will be like, Athos and Davian look at each other. Athos. The thing is, like, Athos is very prepared to do things like this. This is not, something, but he's also not gentle touch. Davian is going to say, my friend, you get it started, I will see it done. Athos is gonna start it, and Davian's gonna finish it.
Draw a little
You
delicate
see, though,
flower curtain over the
he
fuck.
takes the meat tenderizer, puts it down. He goes over and pulls out just a long, thin skewer.
Okay,
From a
yeah,
drawer.
whatever works.
Awful. This is so fun.
You guys all
Alright.
turn away.
It's just-
We're not going to describe what happens, other than there's as Dani's preparing, close his eyes, Virla, you turn. There's a beat, and then Virla comes over. Davian comes over to you, Virla, and he holds up a long skewer with a silverfish-looking creature impaled on it that is going squirming around.
Dani, go.
Dani will cast Revivify, and I imagine her Revivify looks like the creature getting revived just like gets engulfed in this like completely harmless flames for just like a second or two as she casts the spell.
There is a phoenix rebirth moment as you watch flames rise up, and grievous wounds, close. Dani, what is Cresa gonna pick up from Dani?
A little bit of a blue sheen to her skin, just the hint. Not fully blue, but
She's
just
a
like
drow.
She's
almost,
already kind of blue.
They're already purplish.
I'm imagining it looks a little like
she's pretty purple.
iridescent-y almost.
Ooh, I love it.
Combo.
All right.
You watch as the blue flame roars over. As it does, it kind of spreads out. It's not just like one big burst, but rather like kind of like moves across her, heals wounds, and as it does, you watch that blue sheen. Her indigo skin turns a little bit. Actually, I guess it wouldn't be indigo necessarily. It turned more indigo rather.
Ironic.
As a result. Yes, you're welcome. There's a moment, a second moment, and then she draws a breath, sits bolt upright, slams back down at the table, closes her one eye that had the thing, like, clearly is hurting her. She, like, kind of closes it and puts her hand over it, uses her other eye to survey the room, and you hear her go, I'd say I died and gone to heaven. You were a bunch of angels, but we all know that's not what's gonna happen.
Can we get you anything?
Oh.
Maybe like a plate of fried calamari or something?
You're funny.
Yeah.
I'm
Old,
glad the
too,
quipping-
so soon after.
The quipping seems to be an indication that you were okay, but still rest, drink, water.
Quipping, coping, what's the difference? Water, yes. Water, please.
You too, Lion and Twink. You got this handled, because I think
You know his name.
I think Virla and I might have another person to check up on.
I will go ahead.
So the fun
and,
continues this night.
in a sense, I will shake Athos and Davion's hand, and when I clasp Davion's hand, I will say, good competence on your part.
Well, you fail enough times, it's, I was overdue, so we say.
That's probably the first time that Vera, like, genuinely does, like, take in and accept that information. That is, like, a genuine moment of respect from Vera to Davion.
Athos puts his hand on you, Virla, says, your confidence served her well.
Alright, if you'll
She
excuse
is
us.
Daddy's already heading out the door towards where Kyana rushed off to.
Vera's
Lula
following.
squeezes in through the door as you try to get out. Dani and, like, is all over,
Lula
all
was
over-
momentarily getting a big hug from Kyana the whole time that shit was happening, and as soon
fantastic.
as
He's
noise
getting a big hug.
kicked up in the kitchen and it sounded like, okay, it worked, Kyana was out the building door.
Yeah, so Lula goes in and starts, like, seeing Cressida. Dani, you exit. Where's Kyana going?
Anywhere.
Okay, away from
I'm
Dani.
gonna try and I'm gonna
Away
try
from
to direct.
everybody.
I'm trying to direct the three of us into some other private room.
All right, Virla, you exit. Everyone is leaving Cressida except for Athos and Davion and Hans, I guess. Hans is immediately going to go over and start casting, like, cure wounds and things like that.
Sure.
You see
Send Roy
immediately
in, for
she,
God's
like,
sake.
opens her eye and it, like, dilates correctly and she's,
Oh, that's
thanks.
good.
Small man. You guys walk
it's
out. You see Kyana just goes, and Dani, you get the sense that you're probably going to be left behind unless you do something specific to get her attention. Virla, you are right on the tail of Dani.
Kyana.
Yeah, Daddy will just be like, Kyana!
Pauses. I think she keeps going.
Okay.
Vera's gonna follow.
Yeah, Dani will follow as long as she's able to. I mean, obviously Kyana can outrun us, but
Kiana's getting up onto a roof as soon as possible. This would be a fun way to piss off the Lady of Pain. We always thought it was going to be Virla.
Kyana goes. She's much faster. Virla follows. Dani, you go to follow. You feel a firm hand grab your shoulder, and you hear "wait" behind you. And as you turn to assume this is like Otto controlling you, it's grabbing you and stopping you. Instead, you see Roy is standing there, and he goes, "What the hell's Dani? What's going on?"
I think we're all trying to figure that out. But Cressida's in the back kitchen. She's fine, but could maybe use a friendly hand.
Strong set of abs to cry on.
He kind of. There's like a brief moment where like you said something kind of funny, but he's trying to he fights it down because he's like pretty in an emotional state. He turns back to you, and goes, "I'm glad Cressida's okay, but if you avoid whatever's happening with you, one more time,
Roy.
then I don't know you,
assure-
Dani.
Roy, I assure you, you will have that talk soon, but we need to address this first. On my word.
Yeah, I know. I see how it is. I can always wait. I'll be at the heap when you're ready. Otto just watches the whole display. Silent.
Dani. Come on.
Alright. You guys go. Where's Kyana want to go to?
Dani's not following.
Oh, Dani's not following. Okay.
All right, Vera will go after Kyana then.
Virla goes after. Why don't we then remain with Dani to hash
Yes.
this out, and we'll follow Cressida. We'll follow Kyana. Names are stupid. Everyone should just be called like A, B, C.
Uh-huh.
Is that why you had so many people in the Spiaggia campaign with A names? Just
Well, that's because I kept looking up like Italian names.
oh, you weren't just in like nameslist.com and just like, going down alphabetically.
Fancy
Is it
name
ended in
generator
A?
dodges
Perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, they all started with an A in that campaign. That's what it was. Everyone ends with an A here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Dani, what would you like to do?
I don't really know exactly everything that's happening either, but I do know that I'm not just Dani of the heap anymore. I'm not trying to leave you behind, but I have things I need to deal with that I can't sit here and explain in detail. Can you trust
You can't.
that I am...
You think I'm mad about you going? I'm happy that you're going and doing things. I'm very happy. I couldn't be more happy, in fact. Look at me. You think it's like a picnic every day? I'm glad that you're getting to do all this. But look at you. Why are you so tall? Why are you so closed off? Why are you so angry? Something's not right. And it's either the ship, or it's the people, or it's something else. But you're gonna kill yourself, Dani. You're gonna kill yourself. I don't want to be the last one. Come on.
What would Dani say?
God, I wish
Why don't
Vera
we-
stayed.
Why don't
God,
we?
anytime Dani looks like she's
Why don't
gonna
we
leave,
cut-
Vera's gonna drag him right.
Sophia, would you like a minute?
Yeah, I could use a minute to think about.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut. This is a few minutes later. Where does Kyana go?
Highest building she can find.
Highest building she can find. So you leave. You fully leave.
I fully am lost. Yeah, I'm.
You fully leave
Yeah.
the place. And that's a good question, actually. What is a high building nearby?
Does the moment it looks like if Virla ever catches and like catches the tail end of Kyana looking like she's gonna run off somewhere that Virla can't follow, he's gonna do a desperation play.
Okay. I mean, you turn and you see her like way off. So you guys leave the party room. You go out. You see her walking out of the entrance to the demiplane here. She's gonna go out into Sigil, and she's fast. You're probably gonna lose her, Virla.
Am I within 60 feet of her at any point?
I'll allow 60 feet at this one moment.
I have one last second spell slot. I'm casting Hold Person on Kyana.
Okay.
Ooh, the day gets
Jeez.
worse.
Oh boy, that's what she needed. All right, go ahead and roll
It's
me a wisdom
Probably
saving
gonna
throw.
fail because it's
Kyana.
a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, a wisdom save, and I make those with advantage like 2 times over. But anything is possible. Oh, hold on. First one is a flat 9. Second one fell into my pile of dice again. That's a total of 19.
Yeah. All right. Then the moment it fails, Vera is just gonna keep trying. She's gonna try and find. He's gonna try and find her. It doesn't matter.
Sweet.
Well, Kyana, you leave. Virla, there's going to be some time before you find her. Kyana, you leave and go out. You walk the city. And as you look around, there is the Hall of Speakers is a really tall building nearby. It's kind of like a big dome. It's got like a spiral that goes up it. Like this
perfect.
decorative crazy thing that goes like, it's like the spire is like twice as tall as the building itself. So it goes way, way up. It's where the advisory council meets, which is like the people who used to be in factions, and then the Lady of Pain was like no more factions, and they were like, okay, well, You still leave a lot of stuff to the citizens, though, so maybe some people should be in charge. And, like, basically these people had such clout. So Reese is one of them.
Oh, cool.
For example, so Reese is on this council. Anyway, so you go to the hall speakers, spider boot climb your way up, and I assume just Spider-Man brood?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're Spider-Man brooding today, baby.
Okay.
Fantastic. Go ahead, you make it there. It is full dark by the time this happens. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Gladly. Let me just figure out where the hell that is. There we go. Perfect. 17.
17?
Could have been a natural 20.
That's a 19. You are sitting there, and,
Hell
you know,
yeah.
what is
Go.
Kyana thinking about?
Oh. It's, like, bad enough that I think there's no, like, one train of thought that's coming to the surface. It's just...
Your two oldest
hasn't-
friends just both cast spells on you.
She hasn't been in the I have to get out of here mindset since she left the Cenobium the first time. And she doesn't like it. But also, Cressida just nearly died because of these same problems, and she just got yoinked out of... I don't think Kyana realistically thinks she could have defeated an Elder Brain by punching it a whole bunch, especially if not backed up by her friends, which clearly was not going to happen.
You want to know the math on it, which I ran hit point by hit point?
No, but I'm
Okay.
guessing
Yes.
it bad.
I would love to talk about that. Maybe remind me in a Q&A, actually, after the end of this season.
Well, the
Let's
thing
do
is,
it.
Elder Brains are a huge blind spot for Kyana. As part of her education, she was never taught anything about mind flayers. She's never
you know
even
nothing
seen
about
one.
an elder brain,
Yeah.
other than they're probably brainy and pretty big.
Yeah,
Old.
like she was angry
pretty old.
enough. Yeah, she was angry enough that it didn't matter. She was like, "It's fine. I'll just go wail on it until I can't anymore, and the others will get out, and it'll be okay." And now she's like, "Well, they clearly didn't want me to do that, but we just saw firsthand how bad it would get if they got their way." Because the whole thing with Cressida was just like, "Oh, cool. This was the worst case scenario all along. I had no idea." Yeah, I think it hasn't even resolved out into any one thing. It's just bad. It's a lot of very bad noise in the brain today. So up high, where she can see a clear sky if that's possible. And then just stew in it, I think.
Yeah.
Just marinate.
I mean, a clear across to the other side of the Taurus, but yeah.
well, that is the question. Like, what the fuck is even, like...
There actually is sky above it, but you gotta look left or right to see it.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So you're
I can be
you're
boots
off there
sitting on it
facing,
sideways.
like, yeah, up.
Yeah.
Deep in thought, even with your highly, you're very alert, you're highly tuned into things happening around you.
Mm-hmm.
It surprises you to realize that there is a person directly next to you. Until
That
it's
is
happened,
surprising.
and you hear, "Hi," and you look over to see Ione, who has snuck up on you. She rolled a 19 stealth.
I think Kyana just starts
she doesn't have
crying.
spider climb boots, so she's like holding on.
She's holding on.
But she's pretty tough. And she, by way of breaking the awkward silence, she basically just jump scared you. Says, "You're hard, you're hard to keep up with, but not that hard. Until you do the climbing, this is a lot." She looks down at, like, you guys are like, 300 feet in the air.
Cressida's okay.
I saw what you saw. I left right when you did. I hope that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, things are good. Things are. How have you been?
Been better. I'm glad you're okay. We tried to call you for the wedding. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. She shakes her head a little, and you see she kind of like taps her forehead twice, like that, like quick little tap over her eye, and the same like. So when you summon your astral arms, you get big astral body because you're summoning Suvi
Right.
to literally like from within you. The other monks who are doing astral stuff they're not all Olaron way. They don't have astral spirits in them, so they're literally just manifesting their own ki into psionic energy that like kind of coats them. So for example, they never have big monster arms. They just had like kind of like psionic coatings on their fists and stuff like that. That's let them, punch good.
Yeah.
You see as she taps, there is like it wasn't there, but it appears and then like retreats. There was like a helmet over her, and she goes, "Had to learn that trick after the first time. I got too close to the mind flayers. Honestly, didn't even realize I was that close to them until they came. They know when you're close, so had to figure out a way to hide myself, and it hides me from everyone. So
It's really cool, but now it's really hard to find you.
I'm here now.
Yeah, you are.
You look strong."
Oh, I thought so. What are we up against, Ione?
We're up against just an old plan and a new plan. It's sort of, from what I understand, what I learned from the Gitzerai, sort of a tale as old as time kind of situation, but never like this before. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to be worried.
I'm sorry, did she say they were never like this before?
Yeah, she said, this plan is a tale as old as time. They've done this 1,000 times, except never quite like this. So we have to be, otherwise we wouldn't have to be worried.
Okay.
For as relentless as they are, Enoch said they always make their own destruction. But this time it's hard to believe it. Maybe I'm just too close to the situation.
No, yeah, that's... I wish we dealt with him sooner. I didn't want to bring this with me.
Who knows? Who knows what could have happened?
Yeah.
You didn't bring... Well... Who am I to say? I've made nothing but mistakes myself for the most part, so...
No.
I don't know if I'm one to... Hey, you didn't turn on, and try to hurt anyone you cared about, so, it could always be worse. How many friends were kidnapped because of your help, You undid one of those, so,
At least 2, as of today.
No, you didn't help. You didn't... The Mind Flayers didn't ask you to, you didn't carry it out. It's not your fault that they can't leave well enough alone.
Neither can I. I wanted to stop them. It's the only reason. They didn't let me.
You once said to me, perhaps it would help if I made some friends.
Yeah, good job.
I still haven't figured that one out.
Oh, they loved you in Limbo.
That's different. We were friends by circumstance. All of us brought there together for a terrible purpose, but escaped it. That bonds you, but it's not the same as... It's not the same as finding something,
Yeah. I mean... They found me. I didn't even... And I brought all this with me. And they didn't know.
She's gonna roll an insight check on you. She rolls a 19. How comfortable is Kyana with Ione's presence?
Completely fine with this.
Completely fine?
Yeah.
There's a moment where Ione realizes that, all of this anxiety... She's got a lot on her mind as well. All of the anxiety that she was feeling about, is Kyana gonna tell me to, go, kill myself after everything, after everything that's happened. And when she realizes that's not the case, she carefully comes down to, sit on a kind of ledge that's right by you and just gently puts a hand on your shoulder as, unsure of how else to establish any kind of physical contact.
Yeah.
He just says, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. But I do know how to feel about them being out there. I mean, I left Limbo because I felt like I needed to track them down. And, I found them. And I almost died, like a lot of times. But I found them. And that helped a lot. But you know what I haven't done?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to stop them alone. And the best I can do is sneak in, watch a little bit, maybe get one of them, pick one of them off, one at a time. It hasn't done anything.
I think Kiana's gonna put a hand on her hand on the shoulder and say, "You want to make him regret ever raising us?"
You kidding? I never thought I'd get to do anything so fun with my life.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? I'm following your lead here. I mean, should we talk to... It feels like other people should know.
Yeah.
But after that, what do you want to do? We could go
After
tell
that.
Enoch. They could help.
Yeah, Enoch could help.
I've been able to... I've kind of been doing the long way around to get between planes, so it's been kind of slow for me to get, like, mail back to anyone.
You're also harder to contact now, but that's good.
You know,
That's good.
I hadn't really thought about people trying to contact me magically.
For good reasons.
So,
It's weird.
So I didn't really think about that, but I'll promise I'll keep it in mind now.
Thanks. There's a thing I've been trying to figure out, and it was just kind of... It was so secondary, you know, it didn't matter, I thought. There might be more people like me, and...
I don't know if there's anyone like you.
Aw, thanks, I think. But if they don't really know how to handle me, and if there's more of me, I don't know. I only just learned that the Gith were like us. They're so bad at it. They keep doing this. Why do they keep doing this?
They can't leave well enough alone.
No.
It's like it's hard-coded into them.
Oh, that's
I'd say it's in their
poignant.
bones if they had any.
Oh, that's so gross. I didn't even get to punch one that fight. I keep forgetting they don't have bones. We can talk to Enoch and Limbo, and honestly, even the Githyanki would probably be okay trying to find them. And we know... Are they all in the plane of water?
Do you want me to tell you or tell... She motions broadly. Tell you. Like, does she want... She's like, do you want me to tell you the whole story of what just went down? Just you, or do you want me to fill everyone else in?
No, we should oh, I don't
She's deferring to you.
Oh, I don't know if I can deal with that tonight. But you should go. You should talk to them, I think. Dani and Virla, I think, they're great. They'll love you. You shouldn't... Don't worry about it.
Well,
You should talk to
let's
them.
see how much of a grudge they carry after I tried to kill you guys, and then I tried to help Paraspa from kill you guys.
I promise you, Dani probably doesn't remember your name.
I don't remember shit.
Fresh
Honestly,
start.
that does make me feel better. Actually. Do you want me to tell them anything for you?
I think I gotta do a little soul searching tonight, but I'll be back.
Then I'll see you then, I guess.
I'll see you later.
She looks down, trepidation, starts climbing down. She's
Oh,
a
she's
monk, but you know, slow fall is...
She's got slow fall. She's fine.
It'll only get you so far.
Eh,
She climbs down.
it's only so far a drop.
Dani. Cut back. Minutes. This is several, at this point a little while ago. Talking to Roy, standing. The rest of the heap now is starting to be like, dum 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 dum. Kind of wander about like, oh, is the bar still open?
Is the bar still open?
Mandy just like turns their back, lights up a cigarette, and she's just gonna go stand in the corner. Smoke.
You know when you have family drama and all of your coworkers are just also there.
All right, Dani, what would you like to say?
What do you want me to say? That I died? We both know you're not so dense as to need me to say that out loud. But I came back. I don't have instant answers. I figure things out, and I don't know every freaking machination of the universe. All I can do is exactly the same thing that Dani has always done. I keep that ship, my ship, and the people on it working. I keep everything coming back. If you want more from me, I can't give that to you. I don't have answers.
You kind of like, you say all that, and you didn't know for sure that you would die, but like, the sense that something horrible had happened to you, and he's not dumb. He understands that like adventurers die and get resurrected sometimes, and he's known that you're running around with powerful people. As you say all that, it sort of immediately like takes the wind out of his frustration sails, and instead of anger, he's just left with just a heap of emotion. And you say like, I can't give that to you. I can't be more. And he says, I don't want you to be anything other than just Dani. That's what I'm worried about. You're gonna just blow yourself up.
I don't really know any other way to be. This is just Dani.
You're basically my sister, right? There's nothing you can do. It's make me gonna want to not see you.
Gross.
He gives a little chuckle. Oh man. I'm not that smart. Like, I don't know what else to say, man. I felt like something needed to be said. What's gonna happen with your friend?
Well, hopefully she's not so irreparably mad at me and we can figure out what next steps are. Someone had to get us out of there. I slapped a band-aid on a problem and now we get to see if it gets infected,
Yeah, it's my understanding, not envious of having to be the one who makes the decisions.
Well, if you wanted to be the one who makes some sort of supportive decisions, their girlfriend is in the back kitchen recently.
She's not my girlfriend. You gotta give it just like a minute. You gotta give it just a minute.
Fashionably late to the sorry you died comfort sesh.
I don't want to smother.
You don't want to come on too desperate. She only died.
I feel like if the giant spider isn't already smothering her, you probably got a good shot.
He goes, all right, I'm going in the kitchen, but word of advice. He looks over at Otto, who's still watching, camera rack. Otto's just watching the whole thing. He's right there. He looks over at Otto, and then keeps his head turned towards Otto and turns his eyes back to you, and says, "You know what works and what doesn't."
Yeah.
So don't make the mistakes you already know about. Go make some new ones.
I always do.
That's Dani. There you go.
Aww. Give Dani a brotherly punch on the shoulder.
All right. What would Dani... actually, I think at an hour and a half, we're going to go ahead and call the break there, and we'll come back for even more
Great.
misery
Sitting and
misfortune.
talking.
All of the consequences
We'll catch you
of our
guys
actions.
in just a minute.
Bye.
Rolling with difficulty.
I'm Red, and you're listening to Rolling with Difficulty, a D&D podcast. And now, back to the show.
Rolling with Difficulty.
Welcome back. When last we left our heroes, everyone was feeling real bad about lots of different things.
What are you talking about?
continue.
We're all
That
having a
Train
great
going.
time.
Let's go.
Voss is great. He's fine.
Players are having a fantastic time. Characters are a different story.
Yeah.
Voss, we're gonna get to you in just a sec. I will say that Voss, it's been a little time. Paraspera, if you seek Sigil, arrives back in Sigil. It's going to take you some time before you can meet up with everyone else, though. Virla, what are you doing with the inability to currently find Kyana?
Virla cast Hold Person in kind of a desperation play. He wasn't really thinking at all, and then he immediately remembered that Kyana spent a lot of that combat immobile. And he feels really bad. He feels really, really bad. And I think even though it might be a time sink and it might not pay off to anything, he's gonna keep looking for Kyana.
Okay.
Until
It's
someone
a race to the bottom of the mood pit, everybody.
Roll me
Until someone
roll me a
tells him
perception
otherwise.
check.
Yeah, sure. Let me pull up my character sheet again. What's my perception? +2? That's all I need. 15.
Oh,
There
he's
we
just
go.
that good, baby.
Kiana, why don't I have you roll stealth? But I feel like you should get a bigger bonus. I feel like it should be an advantage because you
I'm 300
are
feet in the air.
hiding in a city.
Oh, who's
Yeah.
hiding? But I'll roll it.
So, yeah, maybe we could have a stealth at advantage.
23.
Okay.
Oh, with advantage? Ooh, let's see if I
Yeah.
crit. Nope, 23.
Okay. Fantastic. So Virla, you spent like the better part of an hour kind of like wandering around trying to find her. You're
He's
like,
not gonna stop unless someone like comes up to him and like does a different directs him towards something else.
So you
Like
can
if
get a
Dani
short rest
finds
in
him
there.
or if Ione finds him, that's fine. But his sole goal right now is looking for Kyana. So,
Yeah, so you're looking around for Kiana.
I did
you
sort of send Ione on her way, so
You
she
did
might
sort
be
of
coming
send
your way
Ione on
now.
her way. So you start looking around for a while. You hit up some places that she might be. You're like, the Sprite Spring, and then she's not there, and you start to run out of places she might be.
The Coliseum?
Ask about the gymnasium, and the people there tell you that they haven't seen her. So you're starting to kind of hit a dead end.
You're telling me
in
the
terms of just,
runaway got
how
out of
much
there
can
fast?
how much can you just find one woman in a city?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
by looking for them. And you mentioned that you won't stop until someone stops you. It's about this time that falling into you walk past a street and coming out of the street and falling into step next to you, hands in her pockets. You see a half-elf bard, Catriona, appears and says to you, "So, I take it is this all this last moment?"
Look, I appreciate your spunk. This really isn't the time.
The problem is, there really isn't a good time when everything's going to shit. But
Yeah.
good time
So
first anyway. So
I hate
What
to
happened?
be rude, but there really isn't a. I don't know if there is going to be a good time.
no, there certainly isn't with you. There's certainly not going to be a good time.
She pulls out her wristwatch and it's just the hero's journey Campbell wheel. That looks like it's Billy and the
that's-
Whale clock.
That's an inspiration.
Shucks.
That one really struck me.
Thanks.
Fine. Ask your questions, but I'm going to keep doing the thing that I'm doing right now.
Sure,
possibly
if
to
you
no
wanna talk.
avail.
I'm not too worried about that. So my only question is, what happened?
What happened is things have been boiling over for some time. I feel like a lot of it has to do with. I feel a lot of it has been kicked off by. A lot of it was kicked off when we retrieved Kyana, but things really got set in motion once I did the thing.
All right. And are you regretting it now?
I was in an emotional state when I cast that wish. I don't regret the outcome in the end, but part of me does think that perhaps if I went about it in a different way, we wouldn't be in this state. But another part of me thinks that if I didn't do it the way that I did, then I might not have succeeded. At the very least, I most likely would not be a servant of Mystra. That does mean that I wouldn't have to talk to you, but...
She turns around and starts walking backwards next to you so that she can, like, kind of like be a little head and looking, facing you while you're still going, clearly. And she says, so yeah, regretting your decision then. Unfortunately, for most people, that's not the way it works, getting to go back and do it over. But our next choice is the one that's most important. Not too late to back out if you think you're in over your head.
No, it is not that. I have no qualms with the path that I've been set on. I do not feel comfortable dragging people into my qualms if they do not wish to. And there is reason to believe that there are people on my crew that do not wish to.
How much of a choice do we really get in life anyway? She shrugs. Don't
As
want
much
to.
as
Make the
as
best
much
of
as
it.
we get as much of a choice as the people around us are willing to give them.
And you think that you've been too demanding of them?
Absolutely.
Well then let me ask, what would you sacrifice for them? What would you give up?
Anything.
People that are too demanding aren't willing to give up anything for their friends.
I've already done that. I gave up an easy way out for the feeling of earning like I've accomplished the thing that I did. And I feel like I have earned it. Of course, it's worth it. But it comes at the natural sacrifice of other things. And so I understand that... I understand, yes, there are sacrifices to be made, of course. And... not too long ago, I believed that I would have to be the only one. I could be the only one making those sacrifices. But I very quickly learned that those things are out of my control. Sacrifice does not care whoever is in charge of this fate, I suppose. Is there a god of fate? I don't know.
Yes, you're talking about Savros.
Let's say Savros then.
Within Mistress' domain, actually. Sort of
about that?
close to her. So, not so far off from what we do.
Well, then Savros doesn't care who the sacrifice is, who has to take on the sacrifice. I cannot demand that that I take on all of the sacrifice, because I would be okay with that, if that were the case. But I don't care if I die. But I care if people die on my watch. I care if choices that people have made were because I did not talk to them enough, or did not catch them in what they were trying to do enough. And the moment that I did realize it, it's in the heat of battle. What am I supposed to do?
Exactly. What are you supposed to do? You're a wizard. You know better than anyone. We can only know what we know. We can't know anything more or less.
We also know what we don't know. We also know the things that we don't know. Isn't that
By
baffling?
very
Isn't
definition,
that
I'm afraid we don't. But more importantly, you talk about what you do and don't know. But more importantly, you say that you'd perfectly be willing to die in order for other people to get to live. Did you ask them? Isn't that selfish, to think that you know what's best for them? That you think you know what they want? Isn't that a selfish choice? So, are you really angry at what you've done to everyone? Or are you just mad at the circumstances that you've been set forth in? Because if it's the circumstances, my friend, let me tell you, we don't get to write the chapter, we don't get to write the titles of our own books. We're just play the hands we're dealt. Be mad at the universe if you want. Be mad at a lot of different things. Fate for conspiring against you, but please, don't be mad at yourself. You only did the best you can. You're only going to do the best you can. And
He doesn't say anything.
above
He's
all,
just gonna
don't be
keep
willing
walking.
to kill yourself for them.
I'm not going to kill myself for them. Of course I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to run into battle blindly. I'd like to ideally plan and not die. It's just that's always a possibility. That's always a possibility. There's a certain mindset that one has to be in order to adventure. And It is
You're right.
selfish. Yeah, you're right, it is selfish, and that's what I've been contending with. I'm angry, honestly, at this point, that intellectually I understand that my line of thinking is incorrect, but emotionally I cannot keep up.
Well, then you've already done the hardest part.
Still
You'll get
feels
there.
fucking hard.
It's real fucking hard. Such is the struggle of those who have large shoes to fill. You say that everyone needs to be prepared. Everyone needs to know what decision they're making. You're talking about your friends. So let me give you this one for free. Places a hand on your shoulder. Stops walking, stops you with her. This thing that you've all stumbled into? Book's coming to a close, my friend. We're looking at the last few chapters. And there's going to be no turning back if you don't do it now. So, whatever you're going to do, make sure everyone's in it for the long haul. You want to give them the choice? That's the best choice you can give them. I think you'll be surprised what they decide, though.
I can only pray to Mistra that you are correct.
Don't worry. She's already let me know. Gives you a wink. And don't be afraid to call on her so often. To hear that you've got a direct line. That's not many people get a direct line right to their god.
I don't...
You know how many hoops I have to jump to just to get an interpretation and an understanding of something's about to go down? Come on.
I understand that. I need to prepare what I'm going to say first. It's intimidating.
You are an overthinker, but that's also why she likes you from what I hear.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
You don't undertake things lightly. And this is not something to be undertaken lightly. There's a big decision to be made ahead. As hard as the actions are going to be, the choices might be even heavier.
Thank you for that. Sorry.
Just trying to let you steel yourself. She knocks on your metal shoulder.
Ah, puns. Nice. Is that going to be part of that book?
I thought perhaps that we could call you Virla of the Iron Whale or Virla of the Steel Nerves or something like that, but I thought it was a little too on the nose to go something so specific, so I'm still working on it, actually.
Virla the chorus skating. Y'all can look up what that means on your own.
Y'all are looking it up right now.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know what, it feels like Catriona would know, but Austin definitely doesn't know, so.
Glittery.
Chorus gateway?
There's a few definitions. I believe one of them is sparkling.
Two of them are sparkling. One of them is to exhibit sparkling virtuosity.
I just got a
There we
bunch of
go.
advertisements.
Sounds
for the
pretty
gateway chorus.
close. So.
Let me see, because I actually did think of a title.
Of course.
Yeah,
It's
what
like
is
the
it?
D&D equivalent of when I'm famous and giving an interview about my
Which-
life.
Well,
Actually-
twice Catriona has asked me, and I figured I'd come back the third time prepared.
Oh, genius.
As long as we're on the
Flashing,
subject.
sparkling, brilliant or striking in content or style, severely critical, scathing.
Ooh. She nods. It's not what I expected. It's not bad, though. Let me see if I can make it work in the meter.
Yeah, have fun finding a rhyme with that.
I do like a good challenge. Otherwise, why would I have taken this on?
Fair enough. Is there anything else, Catriona? Because I really do have another task I need to see to as soon as possible.
About 1,000 things, but I figure that you might kill me if I take up any more of your time, so...
I mean, I can... Yeah, okay.
Good luck. Don't be afraid to reach out. I know many things, actually. Everyone's always surprised.
Thank you. Do you...
She turns to go and then stops when you say that.
I kind of wave her off.
Shrugs. Goes, walks past, starts to go and realizes she has nowhere to go, so she's gonna, starts looking around and, picks an alley and goes down that way.
Virla's gonna... Virla's gonna spend 10 minutes and cast, in ritual cast, Contact Other Plane.
Yes!
Okay. Virla, you move over off to the side, find a secluded spot, and you're gonna cast Contact Other Plane. By the way, as long as we're talking about titles of things, Red, I don't know if you've actually read the description for your Silver Greatsword.
Ooh.
If you go
I've
into
taken a
D&D Beyond,
glance. Yeah.
on the actions page, it should have the description all the way on the right. Also, if you
let's-
click on it, it'll come up with a description.
Yes. Magic sword. This weapon is yet unnamed. Is that what it?
That's correct.
Oh, is this
You-
like
you're
a
holding a
Lord of the
legendary
Rings,
sword.
like the
It requires
legends of
a
the
name.
sword will be?
It needs a name. Ooh.
It requires a name.
I'll put it on the list of things to resolve after all the other shit you put on me this
Yeah,
episode.
to the 18 other things that you got piled up. Fantastic. All right. We're going to have Virla cast contact other plane, and then Voss will have arrived. So, Virla, go ahead, make your intelligence check, and let's see if you become a blithering idiot for the rest of this session.
Fuck, that's right.
I mean,
Shit.
look, Virla would know that's totally a possibility. So if Virla wants to hold off, like, that's
Nah,
totally
he's
reasonable
doing
to
it.
me.
The
Okay.
danger. The peril, the
Saving throw,
stakes. Yes.
Intelligence saving throw. That's right. Natural 15. That
Oh,
saves.
you're sweet. All right.
Yeah, what is that? 23? Yeah. Okay. I see Mistra, I'm there. Yada yada.
Yeah. Boom.
Are you there,
You
mister?
reappear there, standing in her hall. In her, her little, what's the word I'm looking for? A wizard's study-ish, I guess. It's very nebulous kind of space. The space is kind of hard to fully understand here. It seems like it's a bigger room than it is, even as you stand in it. But yes, you're back within that familiar space. The scrying pool in the middle, lighting the area. And Mistra steps into the light, her hands folded, and looks at you expectantly.
Where in Sigil is Kyana?
So good. Love it.
She spits out her tea. She tells you, the Hall of Speakers. Look up.
Does she wish to talk to anyone right now?
If with a god who can know a lot with a thought, what would she know about Kyana? Red.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how omnipotent she is. I don't know if she
She's pretty
necessarily-
powerful. She can also bend the rules of magic. So things
We are
like
also
casting a
in
quick...
Sigil, which is famously
Lady of
Well,
Pain
that's
standing
the
over you
gods
with a
have
big hammer.
influence there.
Tom and Jerry
divine
style.
casters have can still summon
Oh,
talk
God,
to
I
their
did it
gods and
again,
things like
didn't
that, right? if she tries to pull some, if she tried to plane shift Kyana, that might be a big fucking problem. But
Right, sure.
she's basically gonna she is she can bend space magic rules, so she can basically do a quick time stop and then a detect thoughts across planes and things like that. She's the wording of spells does not really apply to her.
Sure.
So Red.
I think Kyana doesn't know right now.
That's something that she won't know until you arrive.
Flip that coin, buddy.
How long will Catriona keep hounding me?
I can't tell how long your life is.
Thank you. And I'll close the spell 2 questions early.
Baller move. Make a charisma check.
I've still got
Oh,
one
no.
more question.
What? I gotta think of 2 more questions? This
No,
is
you
the
don't have
last
to.
drop.
I just want to see how baller, how badass you seem when you do it.
Oh, no.
Is
So,
Mr. impressed or a little oh, all right then.
7.
Feisty today.
7? Okay, it's
Yeah.
more the latter than the former.
Yeah. Alright.
Boom.
Well, armed with that knowledge, Virla's gonna go and find his way to the Hall of Speakers. When he's there, he's gonna find the nearest bench on the ground. He's gonna cast light on his clockwork staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, light as a cantrip. A beacon of sorts, and he's just gonna sit there and wait.
Kyana, you have a very high passive perception, so
I do.
I'll go ahead and say that you can see what's going on down there.
Just want to see how many dice of damage I can just tank by dropping. Climbing down slow.
It maxes at 20d6, so
And I'm 300.
100 and...
it maxes at 20d6. So being 300 feet in the air, you're already past the max.
Okay. Meh. Probably just walk down. I do want to, before I do that, I do want to have at least tried to, look inward and be like, assuming you got anything, I don't know, any of those ghosts that turned up in the one time I got to punch somebody.
you go ahead and make me an insight check.
Ooh, on myself?
Yep.
Oh.
Go ahead and make me an insight check.
Sure.
The thing you've been asking for this whole time.
14.
14.
Rolled 5.
There's a closeness.
Is it
that you
worth
felt with
burning
Suvi.
one of those 2 inspirations I have?
If you
What
want.
else are you going to be using it on?
Yeah, fuck it. All right,
Yeah,
that
you're not
D8
gonna have to
from...
fight any other Elder Brains anytime soon. Why would you?
Not
want
this
those?
episode. D8 from
Yeah.
Voss. I add a 5 to
Oh,
whatever
the
I just
Voss's
said.
is way gone.
That's gone,
That's a 10-minute
yeah.
inspiration.
Fair.
You got the
Great.
DM inspiration I gave you. It's a D10,
Awesome.
by the way, by now.
Oh, goody.
I believe.
Then let me just... That's a 4. So whatever I said...
14 plus 4?
So that's 18, yeah.
18. What is Kyana hoping to learn? Like, what would be the best case scenario from this check for Kyana?
Best case scenario, what's up? I'm projecting into my mindscape facing the ghost of an ancestor I didn't know I had, and they fought a bunch of mind flayers and have really good advice.
You think in at Suvi this an interesting question of identity, right? Suvi, who's a part of you and you a part of her, but she is her own separate identity, but has been constructed partially by the full lived experience of countless generations before you. A layered, complex being. You don't get to, like, pull out on an 18. You don't get to, like, pull out a ghost and talk to anyone. But you kind of get you feel a stirring in you, a call to action. And you and Suvi are very much on the same page. You were on the same page when you were going into that fight against the Elder Brain. There is the notion that this fight, you feel similar to how you felt not long ago when you had to fight the fungus, the lichen bride who showed up, where you realized that this was a long fight not yet over, that you had thought was dead but is not over, as opposed to any of these other times, that you've had to fight, some random one-off monster of the week. This time with the Mind Flayers again, the deep-seated feeling of like, oh, this is a fight that I thought might have been done that is still ongoing, and it stretches back way further than you leaving the Tenebrous Cenobium. It stretches back way further than that. You get the feeling this is a fight that maybe not all of you, but some of you has been embroiled in for a long time.
All right, I'm gonna walk down the building.
All right. If anyone's curious, you walk down and there's a big statue of like this woman holding like a globe with like one arm, kind of, and Vera sitting on that at the corner of Hedgerow and Rumble Drive, just in case anyone's curious. I have a map
Sigil
up.
street map.
Release the
Beautiful.
Every single street map.
Nice.
You see Vera sitting there. Vera, you watch as Kyana goes from her Spider-Man sulk and walks down and joins you at the bench. Several people are emerging, look like they're important. They're dressed pretty well. They're clearly like some sort of diplomat's not the right word, but kind of like bureaucrat people. And Kyana walks down the side of their big glass building, and they're like watching her go. You approach Vera.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit on the bench.
I'm sorry about that spell. I just needed to talk to you. I needed us to talk. And I think we still do need to talk, the three of us. But you were running, and we can't run as fast as you. But I'm sorry.
That's okay, I'm really good at running.
Yes, you are. Are you going to do it again? It's okay if you do.
I think I might be done for a while.
I was just going to say that I don't know how well trained you were by the Cenobium at working as a team or collaboration.
Bad. It was bad.
I've noticed. I'm going to get the bad stuff away first. You can't make those kinds of decisions. We had a talk. Us and Finbar. We can't... We need to do whatever we can to make sure that Dani doesn't get agitated at us. And she was already displeased with the idea of having to go and agitate mind flayers for the sake of Cressida, which she had a really weird reaction to that. I'm going to have to ask her about that, by the way.
This doesn't have to be Dani's fight.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I'm letting you know I'm willing to make it mine.
Thank you.
But if we're going to do that, Kyana, if you're going to run, you need to make sure that we can keep up with you.
Dani's been saving me since we met, and I think it's only gotten more annoying for her. And she doesn't have to.
I thought I was the only one.
No.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to do anything. She's so smart. She could do anything she wanted. I don't know if she knows what she wants, and that's okay. But I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna do it alone. I know you don't need to worry about that, but it's been my fight since I was really little, and I just didn't know it. And I'm glad that you want to join. But if Dani hadn't pulled us out of there, Cressida would be dead. Did you realize that?
Yes.
And I was just gonna go in there and... I don't know.
Did you know what I was thinking when we were down there? I had wasted energy trying to get us out. That was a considerable amount of energy. That was energy that we could have used in that fight against the Elder Brain. But we, collectively, decided to stay. And that includes Dani. We need to ask her if this fight, and it's not just going to be this fight, right? Because the Mind Flayers are following you. Or rather, you're entangled with the Mind Flayers. As I have learned, I am entangled with the Gith. We have found ourselves two very powerful enemies, neither of which Dani has any stake in besides us. Nor should she want to have any stake in this.
No.
Knowing that, the fact that she still stayed makes me hopeful. Even so, we need to ask her. And we need to be prepared for the possibility that she will say no.
I'm hoping she says no. If she doesn't want to do... I wouldn't want to do this. I
wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want to do it alone. I would want to do it with you and Dani. There's a very important distinction in that.
That's interesting.
And Voss.
Yeah, I was just like, and Voss was here the whole time.
I will include Voss in this group when he comes back with the ship.
Fair enough.
How long has Voss been
Sorry,
there?
I had to break the tension there.
No, Noir, the person, is fully aware that he has been leaving one person out of this group.
No. I don't want to drag Dani anywhere she doesn't want to go. And every time I do something, it feels like that's what I'm doing. And I don't know if that's me or her, but I didn't want to bring that into her life.
it's not just you. You, me, and even Finbar have done actions that have had ramifications for the crew that, to varying degrees of severity, served our self-interests. In spite of it all, Dani has stayed. Whether
Dani's
it is out of an
really
obligation
good
of
at
friendship
staying
or...
in places where she should not be.
That's her own thing to deal with. I mean, if her battles aren't with Gith and Mind Flayers, then what else is there to battle against? I will leave that question open-ended.
Dani
But that
could
is
do whatever
hers.
she wanted. Dani
That's
doesn't
her
have
battle.
To do this.
Kyana, this is the important thing. It's her battle. And just as I am making the decision to follow you and help you with your battle, we need to be okay. And we need to make that decision to make sure that we help her with hers. And sometimes that means a gentle hand. Sometimes that means a firmer fist. I feel like we have been a firmer fist of late. Not the least of which being because we have, as you say, been dragging Dani around for our goals. Moments of selfishness in the three of us, but we need to let Dani be selfish for once.
No, I agree. It's just, I've let this problem sit for way too long. And it nearly killed my friend today. And if I'd done my thing, and you guys hadn't run, because of course you wouldn't, if I was in
Kyana,
there.
look at me. I let my problem sit for too long, and a friend died because of it. I understand you. I need you to understand that. I understand you.
I know you do.
I understand the guilt that you're going through. I'm here for you. And I hope that we can help each other. And Dani. That's the only reason why I'm able to do any of this.
I don't know. Sometimes I think I could help Dani best by fighting my battles as far away from her as possible.
You know what's funny? I had asked Mistra, when it became clear that the ultimate goal was to free Caleb, Sierra, Aster, and Eden from Tunarath, the Gith capital, I asked her, is this something that I can do on my own, or do I need to drag my friends into this? She laughed at me, and she said that I already knew the answer. And she was right. I want to say that you know the answer, it is just a matter of accepting that. And that's not a bad thing.
Isn't it?
No. Yes, there is there's a selfishness that can be perceived in asking someone to go into battle and potentially death for you. Which is why we have to ask. Because if we're forcing them
you guys not to. That's the thing.
No, that's not the right question, though. First of all, the question should be asked before we are in battle. That's very important. That's a very important thing.
Okay, I didn't know about the brain before we got there.
Yes.
Pointedly, they did not tell me anything about how Mind Flayers worked.
That makes sense. I also want to be clear, I don't blame you for the decision that you made. Because, as you said, we were in the middle of battle. And knowing you, and you knowing what you know, of course you would run in. And of course you would want to spare your friends from any potential dangers that you might face, because... And I know that because I'm exactly the same way. The problem is the both of us have each had our say, and had our time in the spotlight to do that. We haven't let Dani had her chance. We haven't let Dani have her chance.
Whatever Dani wants to do, I'll be there to support her. I just wish it didn't feel like I was tying her down.
That's not an easy thing that you can let go of immediately. And it's going to be a while before you can even feel some semblance of it going away. But at least, if there's anything that can help anchor you in this feeling, it's that you are not the only one on the ship feeling like that. And I hope that shared pain can help ease things in a sense.
I never had a family tie that I recognized as a real thing. And when I left the Cenobium, I realized I hadn't had any ties there. And now that I'm here, and I am tied to all of you, I wish it didn't hurt so much. Because all I know how to do is run. And it feels like I can't stay without hurting Dani with all the things I drag with me. But I can't go because you all feel obligated to me.
No. Well, I can't speak for Dani. Again, that's why we have to ask. And we are going to go find her after this.
Of course, yeah.
It's not an obligation to me. We found you. And the circumstances of our friendship may have not been the most natural. But I stayed because I chose to stay. Because I want to be your friend. And I want to be there for you when you are in pain. And I want to be there for you when you are victorious.
I want that too.
And that does mean that we will have to be there for each other when we're in pain.
That's nothing new.
All right. Do we think that closes
Yeah.
Vera and Kiana's conversation? All right.
Do you want to go find Dani?
Yeah.
Fantastic. You guys stand up, begin making your way the journey back. It is nearing the entrance to Hira's place that you see. I mean, so Voss, did you return to Sigil and aim to seek out the party?
Tokyo drifting the ship into the harbor.
Voss is lounging back at the helm, feet on the dashboard, as the paraspa pulls into the docking area. He kind of looks around. I guess it still kind of looks like the Red Dragon. He's like, oh, should we turn that off?
You see people on the dock.
Oh, well, one second.
We're in a race to who's pissing off the Lady of Pain the fastest this session.
He's got
People be pulling off hijinks in Sigil all the time. Just don't threaten the fabric of her sanctity over the space, and you're probably good.
Who would do that?
He's made a little bit of a mess of the helm, and he's kind of getting the garbage off of him. He
Chip
leaves the
wrappers
bubble.
everywhere.
It's been like 2 hours in a timeless dimension that doesn't experience the passage of whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes down to the holodeck room. He turns it off and back to the regular ship. He's like, well, okay, all right, back in Sigil of all places. Right now I gotta go find the angry blue one and go back to the ship, I guess.
Better.
Right. Okay. Well, excuse me, little one, Moltron.
I don't remember what they sound like.
I don't think you've ever made a
Zero.
voice
I don't
for
think
them.
we've ever
0,
done
1,
this
0,
voice
0, 1.
before.
1100101.
Right. Okay. Don't speak Moltron. Don't steal the ship. And then he just walks away. All right. Let's talk. They were palace of some sort. Let's go. No,
I mean, you know the place that you saw them last.
Right. I don't know how to get there from here. And he starts walking in a random direction. Halfway he turns around, goes the other way.
Yeah. Lucky enough, you do run into Vera and Kiana as you begin to near where you're going, and the three of you
Son
can
of a
return
bitch.
together.
You had that, like, I'm slightly lost in New York City vibe, and a Sigil local immediately was like, "Oi, where you trying to go?"
Please tell me.
I got myself a
You
t-shirt.
can't get there from here.
It says, I heart gear. Real nice.
Plug
Dreams
the
still alive,
merch.
boys.
Plug the merch.
Wally gets an inspiration too. That's awesome.
All right.
Is that an episode 1 callback?
Yes.
I think that's our oldest joke.
Is that our oldest joke?
It's our
That's
oldest and least
extremely
popular
funny.
joke.
Full
I
circle.
love it.
We just gotta
Alright,
keep making it
please.
until people find it funny, ironically.
Please,
All right.
please, please tell me that you came here with a ship and not just on your own.
Yes. Calm your knickers. Alright, uptight robot and punchy. I'm looking for the short, angry blue one.
As are we.
Alright.
Follow us.
She's not that short.
Right, sorry, that's me breaking the fourth wall. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
do you think you're also tall? Like,
Yeah.
Voss is easily over 6 feet. I don't know how tall
Apparently
he
the
is.
crew is
but-
just incredibly anti-short king in terms of membership.
He's 6
Kiana's
feet.
short.
It used to be
Everyone else is
50-50, but it's
tall.
drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I must say, though, before we do end up going, thank you.
No
I don't
problem,
know.
mate.
I don't know you. You don't know us. There was a lot of good reason why you could have just left for the ship, and there was very little that we could have done about it.
Oh, I'm
that-
fully aware, mate. Fully aware.
Oh, that would
That
have been
is
so
why-
bad. This plan was a
that
real
is
mixed
why.
bag, huh?
Virila's gonna, like, extend out his arm for, like, a warrior's handshake type thing.
Voss is just gonna brush past it and pat him on the head. Alright.
they were almost in solidarity for a brief moment.
No need for all that, mate.
Alright, I'll take that. Thankless Voss. Let's go.
Oh, shots fired!
Your local bard pops out of a nearby window like, "Oh, that's good!"
Katrina.
I assume
Fantastic.
everyone got all alive, alright, no missing parts, nobody died.
Thankfully, yes.
Permanently.
Cressida is okay.
Alright. Well, it's quite a bit awkward.
Why?
Where-
What?
Where to? I have no idea where I'm going.
I assume that we're walking at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have been walking, and assume
Yeah.
Voss is just taking. You
I'm,
just taking
I'm,
Voss
he's
in
been
your wake.
following and he has no idea where he's going. Alright. Okay. Well,
I guess $1 million question, where is Dani?
where is
Yeah.
Dani?
I mean, Dani was having the conversation with Roy, and then she would have
Boy,
wanted
that was
to...
a little while ago.
Yeah, I think so.
What would Dani have liked to do in the meantime?
She wanted to say a quick word to Otto and then start heading down to the docks. She is pretty sure she can't catch Kyana, but she's hoping that she can catch the ship. So,
Okay, fantastic. So, what does Dani want to say to Otto?
I'm assuming you've been watching literally everything that's been happening for the last 10 minutes or so.
You have not been hiding it, so no, I have not missed what is going on here. You throw quite the party, I have to say.
I think you and I need to have a conversation about the ship, but I need to talk to the crew first.
If you're looking for their permission, you're not going to get it.
I don't really care about their permission so much, but I'm not going behind anyone's backs. This is me telling you that
Well,
we're
then
going
maybe
to
you
have a
have learned
conversation.
something.
This is me telling you we're going to have a conversation. It's just not going to happen right this second. If you stick around, maybe it'll be tonight. Otherwise, I'll see you back at the heap.
I'm not going anywhere just yet. The bar's still open.
All the staff is
Otto
here.
has not arranged where he's going to sleep in Sigil, and it's a little awkward.
He's gonna have to pick. He's planning to pick someone up so that he can give him the.
Sigil
What's the word for that? I
is
can't remember what
more
it is now.
expensive than I am willing to take out.
Yeah.
for.
Fantastic.
Only an out-of-towner pays full price for a hotel room in Sigil.
I know a guy.
Dani, you go to leave.
Owes me a
and
favor.
Go and start heading towards the docks.
Let me
head
crash on
towards
his
the docks,
futon for the night.
intercept Voss, who's been coming from the dock, and at this point, Virla and Kiana.
Oh my god, they fucking... Voss, I know that it was the heat of the moment and everything, but I cannot overstate enough how thankful I am that you did not turn out to just be the biggest dickhole in the world and just steal the ship. I mean, I would have murdered you, but it would have taken longer, you know?
I think we've covered that.
Well, all right then. Nice to see you too.
He can't steal the ship. He wants my sword too bad.
I could get another one. It's all
And
right
my
if
extra sword that we have in the back.
Wait,
Do you realize he could have with the Spelljammer, he could have ingratiated himself back with the Gith and got like all the silver swords that he could have ever wanted.
Where's Plug?
I had
Where's
thought
my
of
boy?
that. I hadn't seen
Sorry.
a cat or anything else. Busy in the helm. Also, it might be a bit of a mess in there.
I suppose that's the least we can ask for.
I shouldn't say too much.
Follow him off the ship? Is my boy around?
I'll allow Plug to have followed him off the ship, runs and jumps into Danny's arms. A very much needed cat therapy moment.
Aw.
You know, that rumble pack purr, where he's just like a GameCube controller that's broken.
Yeah.
Sonny's like, the horrors I have witnessed will never be forgotten. Sonny's been getting the worst headache through the empathy link today, so...
Danny,
Jeez.
let's go back to the ship. The three of us need to have a talk.
And Voss.
Voss, if you're okay with
I believe the answer
being
is that-
shunted off to the side.
Well-
for a bit.
Actually, I think the four of us need to have a talk.
All right.
No.
It's like, oh, I'm in. All right.
I think eventually, yes, the four of us will need to, but the thing that needs to be discussed first is between the three of us. And honestly, it would have been between Finbar as well if he were here. But
Hey, man, we just did a job. I did me part, and this is the part where I got paid, right?
oh, buddy,
Is that not how
You're
this
working for
works?
Otto now.
Right.
You want some
okay.
diamonds? I still have a little left over. It's not enough
Where we're
for
going, we
mention.
don't get paid.
Right. Okay. Tag along for a little bit until I get to go see the big man, and we'll go from there, right? I'll be quiet.
who's the big man in this case?
Otto?
Otto?
Otto is busy.
Are we going
off
back to
trying
the
get
ship, or are we
laid.
staying where we are? What's happening?
I imagine we're
I
going
think
back
we're going
to the
back
ship.
to the ship.
But
Okay.
All right.
Back to
Everyone
everywhere,
returns to the ship, messy but intact. You can see some of the like broken pieces. No real damage to the ship, but there's definitely evidence that the nautiloid was trying to break this thing. Nothing that needs anything but cosmetic help. But beaten, bruised, your home is there waiting for you, as it always
Have
has
we
been.
caught Ione at any point, or is she just like,
I only went back to the hall.
Party.
great,
She went
awesome?
back there, so
Hope she's
she's
having fun.
currently with a bunch of other NPCs.
All right.
our NPC holder.
If you guys want to hash out your thing, you can
That's
find
another
her
one shot waiting to happen.
later.
Virla, does this conversation concern the future of the ship, or is it of a different nature? Because if it involves the ship, it needs to involve everyone on it.
Oh, sorry. I guess Voss is now part of everyone. Like,
Well,
I'm grateful, absolutely, and he helped us with this job, but I don't know.
I would say. I mean,
Voss kind of smiles, a giant toothy grin, sharp Yankee teeth.
I would say that anyone who was willing to single-handedly stick around and stare down a nautiloid to get the ship out so that we all survived probably deserves at least that honor repaid.
Fair enough. I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about really doesn't concern him, though. So, if you think that it's okay still to have him be included, then go for it. But this is not just about the nautiloid or the mind flayers. This is about other
Voss?
stuff that's been in place since before then.
Yep.
Do you want to help me kill a bunch of mind flayers later?
I thought you'd never ask.
Okay,
Voss,
he's in.
any
We're
day.
good. Thank you.
So
All right,
what's
no
this
further
all
questions,
about?
Your Honor. Yeah.
What's this all about?
All right.
Seems like there's some tension between the crew here.
Just, do you want to
Right,
do
right.
this? Not just. I'm turning to Dani now at this point. Not just this, as in the mind flayers, but whatever can of worms that dealing with this Mind Flayer crisis is going to open. Because the Paraspera, the name of the ship, and also the crew, there has been a reputation of it at a given level, but especially in the last few months, the Paraspera is gaining more of a reputation, and the people on her. And that means that the level of threat that will be coming towards it, to the individual people, and perhaps even the ship itself, are going to be increasingly deadlier, and will be in more increasingly harrowing situations. Kyana and I, we are fully aware that a lot of this was brought on by the two of us, and not you. I know that you, for a while, we have been content with just taking on jobs from clients, from Otto, and doing small jobs here and there, and getting paid that way. And as much as I would like to return to that, the level at which enemies will come after us is not something that I can control. And I don't want you to do this out of an obligation of friendship, because this isn't your fight. It's not. And there are times when I wonder whether or not this really is something that you want to do, or if you don't want to be doing this. So I'm letting you know now that if you decide you don't want to do this, that you want to redirect the Paraspera and try and veer the ship back to a status quo that used to be before, honestly, we picked up Kyana, I have no qualms with that. Kyana, Voss, and I will exit the ship, and we will go and hunt down the Mind Flayers. The ship will be yours, and to do as you see fit. But I want you to know that I don't want that. But I'm also letting you know that I have noticed, absolutely I have noticed, all of the things that you have done and you have sacrificed for our sakes. And I'm just letting you know now that I will be fully behind whatever you decide to do. Don't think for a second that I and the rest of us would not give you the same level of devotion in your ends that you have not given us. That you have given us.
I think you guys are kind of talking around the issue. I don't have villains. I know no one likes Otto, but he's not threatening the planescape. We don't need to fight Otto. There are ways to deal with the limitations he puts on the ship. And the problems I have are not with the scale of the threats or the frequency of being in death. But my first concern from day one has always been for the ship. And everyone has been acting in their own interests and not in the interests of the Aspera and her crew. If the Aspera and her crew wants to fight Mind Flayers, then we'll fight Mind Flayers. But I need to know that everyone on board of this vessel is committed to this vessel. Because I didn't pull it out of a scrap heap and beg Otto not to turn it into parts and rebuild the damn thing and reboot you, Virla, so that everyone could accomplish their personal goal, leave the ship in shambles, and head off.
There's much of that I agree with, and there's much of it that I don't. If I were to choose between you and the ship, it would be you, hands down. If that means that if the ship were to live in a much better condition and with a much better lifestyle, not having to deal with Mind Flayers and Gith, and that includes you, because yes, the ship is under Otto's domain. It's his. I'm done trying to find ways and wondering how to get it back from him. I've made my peace with that. And after our deal with Golzar, there is nothing standing in the way of Otto owning the ship. It's his. And I understand that. But if you... Like... we've all been selfish and we've done things all for our own goals. And I understand, and it is a noble thing for you to say that we need to act in the interest of the crew of the Paraspora, but I also think... Like, what do you want, Dani? Not what do you want for the service of the crew, what do you want?
That is what I want. I am this. The ship. This is Dani. This is what I do. If the ship is... How do I explain this? Everything I've ever worked on is alive. It's got its own personality, it's got its own thing going, and usually that was just little small projects. And then I found this. And this has been really the only thing I've ever cared to continue to improve, to work on. So it doesn't really matter to me.
What is this, though? Because if you're talking about the physicality of the ship, then again, the not having it be damaged by Mind Flayer nautiloids is the best course of action for it. I need you to be more specific, because I'm really dumb in these aspects. And I need you to just spell it out for me.
You are a complete fucking idiot. The ship doesn't live without the crew that's on it. And the best crew...
And I already told you,
the best
crew of the Paraspora
that's
is
ever
mutable.
been on the goddamn Paraspora is standing on it right now. So
what about Finbar? What about Elise? And Caleb and Emerson and Sierra? The crew is mutable. You are the only fixation. You are the only fixed point of the ship, let's be honest. I have found what I was looking for, and I've settled that. I thought that it was the ship. I thought it was a captain. It turns out that it was just a loose end, a wrong that needed fixing. I have made my peace with leaving the crew of the Paraspora if it means that the crew of the Paraspora's goals do not align with mine. You are the crew of the Paraspora, Dani. You're the only one of all of us, more than me, and I'm saying that now, more than me, tied to this ship.
What would you have
So what
done?
do you... Sorry.
What would you have done if took the ship, found myself a crew, took care of them squids myself, and something I evolved to do with or without your help? Who are you, Dani? We just met. No, not really got a chance to talk, but we're doing that now, so might as well. I take that ship from you. Who is Dani? Who am I talking to?
There is no Dani without the ship. I don't have a crazy group of squids hunting me down because of who I am, and I didn't have some former lost memory to recapture, and I wasn't a part of a guild that needed saving from within itself. I am Dani of the Paraspora, and without the ship, I'm nothing.
That's not true.
I think I understand. I have nothing left. Everyone I know, everyone who raised me, everyone I trained with, all gone. Where I go from here, whether you take me in or not, whether or not we go kill these squids, I don't particularly know. To be honest with you, all I have is memories of the adventures I have on Ysgard. You know, I live, I fight violently, I die, I wake up the next day, the same thing over and over again. Put in my best effort. But we just went plane of water, bajillion different Nautilus. You blasting fireballs, smart wizard boy over here doing whatever he does, and the girl with the arms cutting through squids. That felt like a sense of direction. And if you make that happen with that ship of yours, that's why I brought it back.
Virla, if you're asking me to give you a straight goddamn answer about whether or not I personally want to go fight the mind flayers, I never thought that'd be my fucking problem. And Dani, the mechanic from Brass, wouldn't. But Dani, of the Aspera, would. This is one of the most powerful machines. One of the most complex. And part of it is the crew. And I know that it's constantly changing, but plans can evolve, schematics can be upgraded, and they can just be switched to different modes. But the core of it stays the same. It's the ship. It's the thing that takes us wherever we need to go. And I don't want it to be jerked around willy-nilly because of an individual's desire without the consideration for the rest of the crew. And if
everything that we've done may have been instigated by the individual decisions of one crew, but it was not carried through without the consent of everyone else. I don't see how what you're proposing is honestly any different than what's been happening before.
I do.
Look at Kyana, she's spoken up for the first time in a while.
I said a couple quieter things earlier, but everyone was really...
Kyana, you have the room.
Oh, God.
Sorry, hold on. I guess that's not... I guess it's not totally true. We did that job with Delphine, but secretly the true goal was something that was only for me. That is on me. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, Kyana, you have the floor.
I didn't want to, but I've been dragging you guys around since the day we met. When I got out of the cenobium and I was on the astral sea for the first time, I thought I was free and I could do whatever I wanted. And I was wrong, and because of that, Dani lost her brother, and we're here now. So I know exactly why you're upset. And I wish I could tell you that I could cut myself off from all of this because I wanted to, and I've been trying, and it's so hard, and every time I think I've done it, they come back. So, if that's what you need, I can do that. I can go and do this myself.
Why does everyone want to leave the
I need to ask. Dani, did you feel like you were being dragged around by Kyana?
No.
Me neither.
Well, that's very confusing. Because...
Voss, how does it feel to stand in a room of wonders?
all I'm saying here.
But that also serves... Sorry, yes, Voss, go.
Where does this all go? What changes from all of this mess, right? Moving forward. Sure, I'm here now. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. Bloodless Voss at your service. But is it more jobs? Is it squids? Is it, another party? All of these things sound amazing to me, and if you allow me, I'd like to join you. But what we don't need is this squabbling right here. Because you all look like you have a really good thing going. Solid group of friends. A crew. You just need to make it work better so that when the consequences of your actions do eventually come around, because as they tend to do, regardless of the small jobs you go on, the big adventures you take on, as long as everyone moves like a well-oiled machine, then these conversations shouldn't feel this heavy.
The thing that's getting me is the exact thing that Dani had said. She has no villains. At least none. She has no villains. And if the dynamic of the crew is 3 out of the 4 of us vote to go fight mind flayers, And then 3 out of the 4 of us vote to go fight Gith. And then and then all 4 of us decide to go do a job for Otto. That's not balanced. There is considerable more risk in the first 2 jobs than with the latter, and if both instances Dani of the Heap would not want to do those jobs, then it really it doesn't feel even. And it hasn't been seeming even. And okay, I'll come forward and I'll say it. It seems like the things that you've been really happy with lately haven't had to involve us.
I was the first person to vote that we should continue to help you find your crew. I haven't been Dani from the Heap in a goddamn long time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not Dani of the Heap. I'm Dani of the Paraspera. And if the Paraspera is
I thought you were saying that you were both. I thought you were saying you were both.
No.
There are times when you have to be Dani from the Heap and we have to do a job for Otto, and then there's times when you're Dani of the Paraspera and you sacrifice your own, personal desires and wants to not die, which is reasonable, by the way, for the sake of what the rest of the crew wants and the inevitable tugging that the Paraspera seems to have towards a greater destiny.
Is it?
I'll just say,
is it death? You're afraid of? Is that what this is? You're afraid?
No, I already
To
died.
lose-
not
I'm
really.
over that.
Then what's the
Well,
risk? What are we
Dani,
losing?
I have. I feel like I've been dealing with these guys literally my entire life, and it's really hard to think of stuff I want to do after that. But I've had some of the most fun in my entire life helping Dani of the Paraspera with whatever she wants to do. And fighting these guys is kind of the worst. I'd love to be done with it. And then we can go back to doing the fun things where nobody dies.
I'm going to be forward, and I'm going to say this. I think it might be a bit naive to think that when this job is done, we're done. There could be a period of time in which there are no threats actively after us, but as the case seems to have been happening, there will eventually be a threat that crops up.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want it to be these guys again.
Fair enough.
I don't think you get to pick, mate. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
I think
That's
if
what
I
I'm
get
saying.
rid of enough of them, eventually they'll have to stop.
That's exactly what I'm saying, but if every time... I'm just never sure. I'm never sure. It doesn't seem sure.
Do we have to be right now? This instance? What is? I don't. I'm new here. I don't understand what the issue is. We're adventurers. We risk our lives to help the people around us make a quick buck for upkeep, for pleasure, what have you. But that's what we signed up for, right?
Is it what we all signed up for? Is this specific nature of the adventuring that you are describing what we all signed up for?
That's what I signed up for. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Is that what you signed up for, Dani?
No, but you know what it is? The ship is alive. When I fixed it up in brass, it was a hunk of junk that was dead. Now it is a living thing that started doing odd jobs and has grown to something more because of everyone who's been on it. And I can't control that. I can just work with it. I get frustrated.
I'm giving you the option to be able to control it.
No, you're giving me the
now.
option to walk away from the only thing that's ever mattered in my life, and I'm not taking that goddamn choice.
What do you
no,
mean? The
wait.
ship is yours.
Wait, Dani, are we the ship?
Yes, everyone's the ship. The crew is part of the ship. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay.
It definitely was said. Dude, go ahead, roll me an insight check.
Well, I mean, yeah, Virla understands that, but he also understands that if the ship is mutable, then the crew is mutable, and so as long as the crew
think
doesn't
the problem is
necessarily
we're-
have to involve Virla.
We're all trying to heroically sacrifice ourselves by
Yeah.
walking away and not endangering everyone else, and everyone else is like, why are
13?
you abandoning me?
13.
I'm the one who's trying to... Don't
13.
tell me to
Virla,
abandon you.
You're up your own butthole in semantics. That was really an insight check for Noir. I think.
Little
You're
pocket
getting-
distra appears,
you're
smacks you
getting-
on the back of the head.
You're up your own butthole, but more accurately to that insight check. You keep talking about like, oh, if 3 out of 4 vote to go do this thing, to go do this dangerous thing, it's different than 3 out of 4 voting to go do this mundane thing, right? that you want consensus in your vote for the thing that risks lives, and the things that are less important, a majority rules. Maybe it shouldn't be a vote. Maybe it shouldn't be a vote because it wasn't a vote in the last adventuring party you were with.
We need a captain.
Everyone didn't sit around and agonize over what their steps were. Everyone believed in someone who would get them where they were going to go, who would take them where they were trying to get to.
All right. Virla understands that, but no one has spoken up yet.
Virla, I can't promise you that everything the ship is going to do is always going to be my best interest or the thing that Dani of the Heap would have wanted to do. But I need you to understand that that's not who I am anymore, and that's not what I care about. I get frustrated when it feels like people are making decisions on their own, just completely disregarding the crew that they're a part of. It's when you keep secrets from us about what you're doing in the background, even though we all were willing to help go rescue your crew. And it's when you keep things inside about concerns about who you are and your past, and if you're worried about, if you're worried to the point of rushing off to punch an elder brain about your past coming back to haunt you, then that's something that the crew needs to deal with. I'm sorry I forced you to leave it, but there was no choice there. It wouldn't have been best for the crew, and I had to make a call. And I'm making a call, and I'm trying to tell you now. If the ship is bound for bigger things, I'm bound to the ship. So we do bigger things, but we need to decide that as a crew.
I think...
Sophia, if Dani is trying to say that she wants to be the captain, she's going to have to tell Virla verbatim that she wants to be the captain. It's not getting to him.
This guy is so dumb.
It's not getting to him.
This dumb animal.
I think
Dani,
maybe the semantics got us lost a little bit there, but I'm sorry, Kyana, what were you saying?
Well, I think the crew has things that they want, and that's okay. And I think I've never really been on like a normal ship that had a normal layout, You guys kind of just picked me up, and I've been happy to be here and do whatever I need to, and I'm not very smart. And I've always said that you could do whatever you wanted, and I think it was hard for me to tell that this is what you wanted the whole time. Because you're so angry all the time, so it's really hard to tell.
I appreciate that.
But if you hadn't did what you did, Cressida would be dead and I wouldn't even know. And I would feel way worse about everything. Which obviously isn't the important part, but I don't make the big decisions well. I try. Sometimes it works out. But it usually works out because you showed up. So, I want to end this. I don't want the Planescape to deal with this anymore. I don't want to lose anyone else, and I don't want you to lose anyone else either. But I will follow your lead. Captain.
Oh! Fuck!
I've been saying it this whole time. You have me sold.
Wait.
And
Yeah, see, he got it.
And he stabs it.
I told you. You need to say it to my face. You need to say this. Like, I can't. I'm so anxious all the time. I keep feeling like I'm doing things wrong because you seem so angry all the time.
Robot. Come here. You need a hug, mate.
Not from you!
It's all right.
Actually,
Witness
I think it's pretty
Voss!
important that you guys try to bond however you can. I don't think Voss is going anywhere.
All right. Bring it in, mate.
He's not gonna object. He's not gonna hug him, but he's also just gonna be like,
This feels right. This feels good.
A
Let it
true
all out,
spiritual
mate.
successor. Plug slowly rises behind the shoulders, wearing the hat, so it looks like Dani's wearing the hat.
I'm gonna get
All
some
this
fresh
time.
air. You owe me a fight. And Vhas is gonna head out the room.
You understand that I can only do this in so much as it is. I have to think of this as this is the best way for me to take care of the ship. You have to understand that I need to be solving a problem at all times. It's just who I am. And sometimes I'm gonna solve problems by doing shit like the plane shift, and that's just gonna be how it is. I can't promise you that I will always be serving your immediate whims, but if you guys will have me.
I just don't want to feel like you're angry with us all the time. It really has felt like that lately.
Seems like she's always gonna be angry, mate.
Yeah, so
But
if that means
Vhas
that
on
I
his way out. He took a break to get some snacks.
If that's
back
the
in.
case, and then I guess I just have to deal with that. I have no objections with you making the decisions on behalf of the crew.
I just ask you to let me be the person advocating for the best interests of the ship. I don't really think there's best interests of myself to advocate for, but in a world where you're advocating for your own adventures, I just want to be the person who's saying, hey, maybe we should stop for a week and do some of that 200 HP worth of repairs on the ship that we gotta do.
But that's what I've been saying. I literally, I'm trying to. I'm sorry.
We could take a break. I don't think
Low charisma Virla and low wisdom Dani trying to understand each other.
Vhas is just coming back the other way with a different plate of snacks. Like, can't find the door.
Look, we could use a break. I could use a break. I have not taken a shower in days.
It's literally been so busy since I. It feels like I fuck things up.
Weddings are so stressful.
And if that's something that I have to deal with on my own, then so be it. Because I know that this is something that is intellectually, I know that this is all just in my head. Emotionally, which is language that I'm trying to use now, apparently. Intellectually understand, I need to catch up.
Oh, what's up, Voss?
Maybe he needs to just punch things, right?
Ooh.
All right, I'm gonna put the kibosh on that. Not all problems can be solved by just punching them out. I feel like some of us are less martially inclined, and it doesn't always. Punching bags are not always great.
I would like to punch something.
Yes!
I think I know what it is. Voss is gonna lean in a little closer. All right in the kisser.
Oh, thank you.
Give it a go one.
He's gonna go for it. He's absolutely gonna go for it.
I'm gonna say Voss allows it, so roll your damage, which actually no, your damage is 1 plus your strength. So what is that?
2.
Oh, it's positive. That's great.
Yeah. He is a warforged. Like
He's
there,
made
I
out
think
of
he
metal,
gets
yeah.
like base +1
But
to
does
strength.
he have the technique right, or does he like angle the wrist wrong so like it just crumples back?
No, yeah, like thumb over the fingers, just like.
Thumb in the fingers is the one you don't want to do.
I was like,
right.
Noir spit out here risking his hand every time.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I
all those
forgot that there was a
times
third
Mars will
option,
punch
which
the
is
person
thumb
in the face.
beside the fingers.
Look, Virla, I get the sense that
Voss is gonna pretend to take a boatload of damage and crumple on the ground. He's like,
Oh, he's selling it.
Passes
He's
out.
selling it so well.
Does Virla notice that? Because
I'm
that
going
thumb
to
is
roll.
gonna.
I will roll deception for this.
That's gonna
Roll
bump him
deception
out
versus
even more.
insight.
Okay, cool. I rolled a 19 deception.
Oh, baby.
I'm gonna say that it beats my passive perception, so yeah, I guess Virla believes it. All right. Anyway.
You love it.
Virla, I can't
Oh, God, he's dead.
make you.
Heroically.
I open an eye and I look at Kyana.
I know you.
I can't make you be okay with the way that stuff has happened. You came with a lot of baggage, and we did a lot in the course of saving it, and it all turned out fine. But having experienced,
Did it? You died, Dani.
But
you
I'm
died.
back. I come back. That's the thing that I do.
Right, but that doesn't happen forever, right?
If you,
That doesn't happen forever.
I'm very aware of that. I know a lot of people who haven't. But you
Yeah, me
can't
too.
live in fear of dying.
It's not me that I'm afraid of dying.
Oh, yeah, that's the big mood.
And that's why none of you guys can be captain, because
I have never claimed to be. I've never tried to be.
I'm asking you to let me step into this role and to not constantly be questioning whether or not I want to be doing it. If it's what's best for the ship, it's what I want to be doing. And I can't do it if every step of the way you're wondering, oh, what if Dani dies?
I think we are allowed to be a little worried about that.
Sure, but all of us could die
standard...
literally any time. We work on a spell jammer.
yeah.
Even on our old jobs, we were constantly risking death.
I've died a couple times.
All right, you don't count. You lived in Eastgard.
He's okay!
Okay. He goes right back down on the ground.
Miraculous!
I've only been mad at you guys once, and it was the last job we did in Brass.
I mean, that's understandable.
Oh, it's because we left you behind and we tried to keep you out of it because we didn't want you to worry.
Oi, boss, haven't let you down yet. Brought back your ship.
Okay, Voss.
Clean
I know I was the one who
clean
really
slate.
advocated for you to be in the room, but I think you do need to hush for just a second.
All right. Army crawls out.
Just like the body rolls out like a log.
I was saying that. Look,
When
okay, I understand.
grew up on the streets of Brass, I did not have safety, food, shelter, any sort of home. And I know everyone has their tragic backstory, and I like to think I've moved beyond mine. But that job made me go face to face with the only thing I grew up fearing for like the first 10, 15 years of my life. I know you guys don't like Otto and the heap doesn't seem great, but compared to where I started, it was something. And I know I'm better off now, but I need you guys to understand that it's not the constant risk of death that I was worried about all these missions. And it's not that it's any one person's vendetta. It felt like I was the only person who was ever in it for the ship. And the one time I needed people to think about, why does Dani want to do this job? We just did it anyway. So I want to be able to be the person thinking about the ship, because I'm the ship. Does that make sense? I can't promise you that you're never going to worry about any of us dying. If that's what you're looking for, that's not what I can give you. That's like...
No. That's so unrealistic. I mean, there's a constant risk of death all the time, you know?
I mean, the thing that I'm stuck with right now is that is what I'm looking for, but I know I'm not going to get it. So I just have to deal with it.
If you wanted us
And
to
that's it.
not be at constant risk of dying, you'd have to put us all in little glass bubbles, and at that point we'd be trying to kill you. So it feels like it's sort of a...
Fair enough.
I think I'd be
just don't
okay in a
like the
bubble.
idea.
Sounds really cozy.
You don't have...
I don't like the idea of another captain dying, but I guess I
You don't have to like the idea. But you can't dwell on it.
I know.
I feel like we're dancing around a word, maybe? That feels like it would sum up a lot of this. Which is trust?
What do you mean?
It feels like Dani's asking us, trust her, to be honest about what's up, and trust that she knows what she's doing. And we're asking the same. You know, trust that we're on the same page, that we're talking about what's going on. Because I am so bad at all of this, and I'm sorry that I didn't learn faster. Because I have never once before all this been on a team that was actually a team.
I know I spoke to you and talked to you about that, but I'm also now realizing that since being an amnesiac, the team that I have been on hasn't exactly been the most functional, as we are now realizing.
Well,
But-
sometimes it's really hard for me to understand people. A lot of the time. There's a lot I don't get. And I know
Join the
this.
club.
Well, you know,
Sorry.
I don't think any of us
Sorry.
are good at this, but I run away from things. That's just, it's worked. Let me find you guys. But it's what I do when things aren't working. And I was so scared this whole time that I was gonna have to do that again. And I'm really glad I was wrong. Because it's not easy for me to look at the ship and think, that's gonna be what I choose for the rest of my life. Because the world is so big and I want to see so much of it. And it's different. I don't know. I'm not good at this. But I do want to be here with all of you, and I want to help you with your battles, and I want to keep you safe from mine, and I trust you. And if I didn't say that before, I'm sorry, I'm really bad at all of this. And I've never in my life been in a place I can trust for more than a year before, so...
Well, I trust you too.
Mm-hmm.
I trust you too. I'm not going to claim to speak for the rest of us.
I trust you too.
Also,
yeah.
Voss just met you.
I trust you too.
Thank you. Looking forward to
very
fighting you for that sword. He's fun. I'm glad we picked him up.
You hear Emmy goes,
I've been very
Vila.
used to
Everyone
this
should hug.
ship. Sorry?
Emmy goes, everyone should hug.
Oh. He's gonna set that aside for now. He's gonna say, I think I've been very used to operating on a ship without a captain, that it honestly had not crossed my mind that was what you were proposing. If you want us to trust you with our goals and our grievances and our aims, then I have one, if you'll hear me out.
Sure.
You're very good at applying bandages, but I do request that from time to time we don't just slap a bandage on things, and we actually take time to address whatever wounds we may have accumulated.
Is this a metaphor?
I think both metaphorically and literally. This was an instance, I think, maybe, when bandages were just being applied without necessarily addressing the core disease?
I don't think you put bandages on that.
Treating
This is
symptoms, not the core issue. Symptoms.
I think that's very succinct.
If you're trying
Thank
to
you,
say we
yes.
should talk
Thank you.
more, I think I got you. Otherwise, you completely lost me.
I
have to be completely honest.
No,
Wiz-
I think that's
Wizards-
what I was saying.
Wizard has a lot of words. It's alright. His heart's in the right place. Love you, mate.
Hey, tactless Voss, go back to eating.
This is my favorite dynamic.
I'm okay. Emmy said that we should hug. I'm okay with it if you guys are.
Alright, bring it in.
Just unfolds off the floor.
Dani will not resist, but she is stiff as a board.
Kiana's not going to force any hugs that don't look like they want to go
If-
anywhere.
If Dani is stiff as a board when Vera hugs, then he's not gonna go for it. Like, this was the whole thing that he's been so like hesitant of. Like, he's not sure if he can fully like trust Dani with the things that like his problems, because he doesn't like the thing that he's been anxious of is that she's not fully on board with it.
I think that Vera just needs a little sign that says, "Dani, are you mad at me?" And he just like lifts it up, and then Dani can be like,
one of those,
"No,
like,
this is just what my face
For,
does."
like your dishwasher, your washing machine, it's like full empty.
Yeah, like a magnet.
Yeah.
It's like magnet is
Yeah.
like feeling emotionally secure today, and then flips it around to like, "Dani, are you mad at me?"
Yeah. But yeah. But
Okay, really small scale. What does everyone want to do right now?
I need to go have a conversation with Otto.
Ooh.
kill the mind flayers, but then also eventually Mistra is gonna call me to do something.
No, like next hour. Like tonight.
Oh, I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
I'm tired.
Sleep is also a thing I was thinking about.
Bit of a nap. Is that what we're asking for?
Well, first off, I would say if you guys wanted to have taken a short rest, this conversation seems short rest material to me.
Ooh,
Second,
delicious.
certainly feels like you were talking for an hour.
Devastating.
No, I loved it. It was
The problem with improving emotional conversations like this is that it tends to match real conversations, which sometimes you just talk past each other.
Oh my god, I just rolled maximum on my 3 healing dice. This is great.
Fantastic.
2 8s and a 12.
So you can do that if you would like to. Dani's gonna go talk to Otto. It seems like I don't know if you guys want to like everyone else sleeps and she goes talk goes to talk to Otto.
Well, I will ask.
But there's of course Ione and Cressida if anyone wants to check up on
I think
them, or you
gonna...
could leave it till the next morning. But it's kind of up to you guys right now.
If we're gonna be hunting down the mind flayers, you probably should talk to the rest of the people who were involved with today's attack anyway at some point, but they might, Cressida might benefit from a night's rest, so maybe we just make sure they don't leave town and talk to them in the morning.
I do want to check out. I don't know if she has a place to stay, actually. She can have my hammock.
I don't know
you
if
know
she's
what?
gonna be
I was actually
moving
thinking
too
about this while you guys were talking, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Hero would be like, no one should drink and drive, and would just have a bunch of rooms set up for people to stay the night.
That's so cool of them.
What a bro.
Not that anyone like drives cars or anything, but
No
like
one
Hero would be
should
like, why would they
levitate
not
and
want to
drive.
stay in my
One
should not
beautiful
drink
mansion?
One should not drink and spell jam. Oh, apologies,
exactly.
Dayon. You don't have that
Don't
problem
drink and
anymore.
play shift, my friend.
If you go on a spelljammer on the Astral Sea while drunk, do you stay drunk the whole time?
Ooh,
Well,
good
I've
question.
been drunk. I've been drunk this whole time.
Yes.
I had way too much drink at the party.
Well, like,
Perpetual
Whole
Conditions.
bunch of squids.
Wow.
don't conditions get removed, like, eventually? Regardless
Poisoned?
of-
I suppose they do.
I guess
don't know, it feels
otherwise you
funny to
just
say
be
yes.
poisoned. Yeah.
Right.
Like, because wouldn't that mean that you wouldn't be able to, like, rest up?
Yeah, so actually the old rules were that the old rules for Astral Sea are extremely brutal, I think from 2nd edition. They're like, oh yeah, your cuts don't like clot or anything, so you'll like bleed out if you get hurt on the Astral Sea. You need magical healing or you'll just die from all wounds. Like things like that. It was
That's not even
extremely
how
literal.
injuries work for real hemophiliacs. You can still like hold the wound closed.
I'm
and it just
aware,
stops.
but it's just very, very brutal and extreme, like fake logic, because it's all dream logic anyway. But it's
Yeah.
just like a very brutal implementation of dream logic.
I feel like they got rid of that because
5e
people were
doesn't
like,
do
"Ooh,
that.
I want to go
and also,
there."
yeah, also it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's just no fun. But like I don't know, being drunk all the time is just kind of funny to me, so I'm willing to make that canon.
Yes.
We got a little bit meandery there. Am I the captain now? It's really unclear.
As far as
Yes, you
Kiana's
are.
concerned, yes.
Voss has been calling you captain this whole time.
Yeah.
Are you prepared for all that entails? If that means that you're going to be the face of the Paraspora, then you've put a target on your back specifically. Because I'm going to be calling you the captain of the Paraspora.
Well, I've already been paying all of our dock fees and making sure the ship isn't falling apart for the last 4 seasons, so I think maybe I can handle still being the face of the party.
Wow, 4 whole seasons already.
Well, if that's
know.
the case,
Autumn
then
was
there's
my
only one more
favorite.
person you have to convince.
know.
And that's
That's-
Davian, who thinks that Fearless the captain.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I have my
we all
super
know it.
persuasive cowboy hat now, so, you know.
You're very intimidating.
That's the captain's hat. She's earned it.
All right, are some of us meandering back to the party to check in with the
What
rest
do
of
y'all
the
want to do?
Squid Squad?
Danny is definitely
I'm
going back
meandering
to
back.
the party after paying the Modrons to make sure that our docking space is covered.
I've got
Modron's
no
just
money,
been
mate.
standing there with a hand outstretched.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Modrons like, what do we do? Just like standing around trying to figure out.
Like, lawful neutral entities that don't know what to do when a law is broken.
They have one command, and it is wait.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't even have 2 commands, so they can wait and see. They're just waiting.
Does Danny have a free 2-minute slot right now?
No, not even a little bit.
All right. Voss, stay attuned then.
I guess I could unattune to
but
the
yeah.
inlet of the planes, but it would take a while anyway.
Virla would like to head back to the party as well.
Yeah. Party we go.
All right. So, guys, any short rest nonsense that you want to have accomplished?
I mean, I took my short rest, and I'm back to full hit points
Fantastic.
for the next time we have to go punch an elder
I
brain.
just, you know, because I don't know if like, you know, you might want to use an inspiration or like, you know, sometimes you guys have a sending you want to do spells, like, you know, just like. I hate when we get further and someone goes, wait, did we take a short rest? I really want to do this thing that I didn't think I'd want to do. So I'd rather you guys take it and then not need it, you know? So.
Oh, I'm all good.
Fantastic. Well, we're coming to near the end of this, so why don't we head to Otto to confront him. You guys make it back to the party. Music is done. Everin is like sweeping up, and like chairs are up on tables. A bunch of the heap have retired. Otto is still there sitting at the bar.
I
Mandy
didn't
is
get
still
lucky yet. That's a shame.
also sitting down there. who else? Obviously, Davian, Athos, Cressida, Lula, and Ione are here, and they are all like currently. They're like, we kind of. You ever been to a party and you're like, we kind of know each other, so we'll gravitate together, but like, I don't know how to break the ice here. So they're all kind of like.
Where's
sitting.
All of those
Roy?
people have mutual friends who aren't at the party.
Yeah,
so now
well,
they're just like,
Roy is with standing next to Cressida, and they're talking lowly right now.
All right, I see we got the captives. Fantastic. They're all alive and all well. Big man, job's done.
All right.
Payment?
Can you three go
Nope.
catch anyone
Oh.
who might know Mind Flayer stuff, and maybe we can make time to do like a round table or something tomorrow. Figure out what exactly needs to be done. I don't know anything other than there was a fuck ton of Nautiluses there, and I imagine, I don't know, the ponytail chick, Kyana, your friend might know more.
Ione, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's
she
the
said
name.
she knew a bunch
Didn't
of
know
stuff.
her name.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that. Danny, just make sure you talk about payment. Empty on cash. I'll go in the corner. Catch
Vhas,
you later,
I
Captain.
cannot emphasize enough how much you are a breath of fresh air in a crew that has never once valued money.
I need things to do, mate. I've got 2 daggers, a sword, and that's it.
Boss just needs to ask Kyana. Kiana's carrying 4,700 gold on her right now.
Okay.
I wish this was a video format so we could see the face Wally just made. Oh man, that was great.
Like, oh, that's why she jingles when she walks. All right.
Wait, so to reiterate, we just make sure that everyone we think knows information about Mind Flayers just doesn't leave and is here ready for a debriefing at some point.
Would love
I'm
to.
going to go talk to him, but
Yeah,
you guys can do whatever
you
you
guys
want.
find out more in the interim, but we should probably get everyone together at a table and maybe let Cressida sleep the night. I don't really. I remember being exhausted, and I imagine she might know almost the most out of anyone, so probably an important person.
Aye, Captain. Yeah, there it goes.
Yep, let's go.
All right, you guys go over. Ione immediately comes up to you, Kyana, and like looks at you expectantly, like, you good? Like,
The mood has
she gives you a look
significantly
of like,
improved.
it seems like things have worked out. Is this?
Yeah.
Should I assume that?
It's definitely like Kyana is in a much better place than she was during her Spider-Man 3 angst sesh on the building. So I think that's also has a little dragon, which I don't know if Ione's met yet. So Ione,
Aw.
yeah.
This time, Sunny. Who is this?
This
and
is
like gets
Sunny.
to like pick up the dragon and look
Just
at it.
like the This is Sunny. He's actually seen a sun too. I made sure.
I've seen horrors beyond comprehension.
Sunny's a little walleye from whatever horrors he experienced in Weird Little
Shaking
Dudes
like a
2: The
chihuahua.
Reckoning.
That dog has seen some shit.
The Wrath of Voss.
Oh my god. You guys walk up. You hear Roy and Cressida are talking, and she's like, if you're interested, if I'm ever around. And he's like, oh yeah, no, you definitely come by. Yeah, that's
How
I'm
are they
always
both
around,
so bad at this?
Fantastic.
There's this kind of brief moment where it's like you've watched someone who's extremely confident, someone who's extremely not confident in their own spheres, and now you're like, oh, this is Roy interacting with a mundane relationship, and Cressida, badass bounty hunter, having to interact with a mundane relationship, and suddenly one of them looks far more adept than the other.
Oh. All that charisma for Roy was going somewhere, and it was in normal shit.
It's being mostly well balanced. He looks over. He's like, "Yeah, I think this is sort of above my pay grade. I'll see you around, I guess." He goes, "Yeah, you'll see me around." He walks off. Davian approaches Vera as you're walking up. He says, "So I take it that dramatic things have happened, that we're now meaning to make more dramatic plays? You walk with a very
Eventually.
confident stride, and I assume that this is because you are meaning to speak some things."
Absolutely, yes. If you don't mind staying the night, at least until Cressida regains her strength, I think the information that we all collectively can share with each other will be very enlightening.
Certainly I do not mind staying, especially since you are the one who brought me to Sigil, so where am I to go?
Oh, right, we're his ride.
That might also be a thing, too. No promises, Davion, but there is a chance we might recover your ship.
You speak sweeter and sweeter words each time. You hear Athos comes behind and just goes... Just grunts.
Is Athos done with this party? Athos feels like he might be done with this party.
Athos, roll me an insight check, Kyana.
Gladly. 12.
12. Athos is done with this party, but Athos is like, he's not just, it's not that he's impatient with this party, it's that he's impatient for, you see a lot of yourself a couple hours ago in Athos right now.
Athos has not ripped anything in half in over 36 hours, and it's really getting to
Why
him.
is everyone in this Planescape solution to dealing with their emotional issues punching things?
It's
Oh,
showing
it's
Athos
D&D,
so
everything is
far.
hit points, man.
And
That
Virla.
was just the one time.
Sometimes you gotta stab things. Sometimes
Virla
you
was a
just
fan of
stab
talking things out.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he's really bad at it.
Virla put his thumb on the inside, and his wrist was down at like a 10-degree angle, so the whole thing crumpled.
Ow.
It's like, why
Danny.
would you want to protect your thumb?
Boss kind of turns around, looks around, and says, "All right, looks like everybody here knows everybody except me. Quick introduction, Voss, Bloodless Voss. Happy to meet all of you. Looking forward
Buttless boss? Virla's like fully bragging on. Buttless boss?
Wizard,
what you said?
that tongue of yours. Wait, you're a robot. Okay, never mind. I can't deal with this right now. Anyways, happy to meet everyone.
Oh, thoughtless
Looking
boss, I see.
forward to cutting off some squid heads with all of you.
Yeah.
Put into
I
your
will
Fine,
retire.
someone speak something sensible.
Oh, I missed you, Athos.
Missed you too, little warrior.
Nah.
Hand on head, ruffles hair.
Yes.
Didn't I set him on fire last time?
I
we
am-
worked?
I'm
Oh, that's just how we
Ione.
all say hi. Oh, yes, Ione.
I didn't, Vhas said everyone knew each other. I didn't know anyone on my own.
This is-
Nice to meet you.
This is Ione. We grew up together. We are
Hi.
so ready to kill a bunch of mind flayers.
All right. He offers a high five to Ione.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's cool. I
Yes.
think.
Right. Okay. New friends. Love it.
Is this what you've been up to since Enoch had told us that you had left the monastery before we visited him? Is this what you've been up to in the interim?
Yeah. It's been a lot. Seen a lot. Been a lot of places. Learned a couple things. I hope it'll be enough. But it seems like everyone else has a piece of the puzzle too, so...
Sorry, it just
There's-
occurred to me I know nothing about mind flayers except what I've literally seen with my own 2 eyes.
Well, you've just witnessed a bunch of things, and
Yeah.
like Kyana knows plenty. Other people have other pieces of the puzzle, but
Kyana didn't know there were things called elder brains until Ione mentioned that there was an elder brain on the ship, and she immediately decided, whatever that is, let's go punch it.
let's kill it. Fantastic.
Kyana's the most underqualified person at this table, and she's ready to learn.
You guys all get ready to have your meeting in the mines. Dani, you approach where Otto is sitting. Mandy snuffs out a cigarette, says, yeah, I'm gonna go be anywhere but here. Cool. Walks off.
Really?
Oh, even Mandy knows.
That was fast. I didn't even finish my next drink, actually.
Because it felt like a full hour.
I definitely haven't
I
been
like
sitting here
this.
getting rejected for the last hour and a half.
You're a businessman.
I do call myself that.
Wally, you can't be doing commentary
Sorry.
during this video.
I'm so sorry. I gotta. Okay. Zip lip. I'm so sorry. Yep.
Just diving out of the camera.
I originally convinced you to fix the ship because it would be worth more to you fixed than broken. And I like to think at least a little bit of that was that I just... Okay, this is somehow worse.
Everyone is just covering their cameras like they're all afraid of being spied on.
I have a convenient curtain, so I could just draw the drapes.
And I like to think that at least a little bit of it was that we kind of get along. But obviously the current arrangement of the ship isn't working. eventually you're going to hit critical mass with the crew, and there's only so much that I can do to play intermediary. So I have a new suggestion.
I'm all ears. Where am I to go?
What you need is a ship that'll do jobs for you on the cheap. You don't need to be the constant retainer of the Aspera. Give it to me, and as its captain, I can help make sure that when we do jobs for you, and we can give preference to jobs from you, you still get. The deal that you and I both know is extremely favorable to you in terms of payout, and the ship is a little more free to do the adventures that often take us away from the heap.
Well, that's the interesting part, isn't it? Sets the drink down. Because the way I see it, everything has been going fine until you were frustrated with the nature of the jobs you were being sent on. Every time I've ever sent you on a job, there was never any question you would walk away from it, that the ship would sail away from it. And now you're asking me to give it to you, presumably, I assume, because you know that if you asked me to do what you want to do, I would just tell you no. So why should I give up the ability to say no?
You're not on the ship.
There's the Otto we know and love.
You don't actually see what
I'm
it takes to make it go every day. I know we think about machines a little differently, but the crew is as much a part of that ship as any of the mechanical pieces we've scrounged from the heap to fix it up. And the idea that they have choice, even if it means that we're going on jobs that you might say no to, makes them a better crew. And that just means that when we do jobs for you, and we can make sure that we're doing them maybe more frequently than for other folks, same rate that we currently do, hell, we're better at them. You can make them shittier.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check. What? Dani has been in a skill challenge this entire season and she didn't even realize it?
Say dirty.
Oh my god, Austin.
Dirty 20. And I'm going to
Dirty
use
20.
my last flash of genius to add 4
Let's
to
fucking
that.
go.
So it's a 24?
He is an incredibly pregnant pause. He sort of considers the arguments you're making, that he is ill-equipped to be the one who's in charge, that you are far better suited for it, because you have an understanding that he never could, and is uninterested in having himself. The notion that he could stay in charge of it, and you guys could continue to go on safe missions, but it would be more fruitful to him to let you be happy, essentially. Like that there's going to be more profit in it if he lets you guys do what you're going to do.
It's given the squeaky wheel grease, you know? Sometimes you gotta give a little extra to keep a machine running smoothly.
A 24 is an extremely high check. I'd like for you to roll me an insight check.
Yes. Not as high.
God, he's so smarmy.
13.
So 13. It feels like you're close. You've come at this, you're Dani, you're the problem solver. Incredibly high intelligence. You've come at this with logic. And you look at this guy who you thought was the smartest man. And he doesn't need to be won over by any more logic. There's a million reasons that he should just let you do your thing from a how much money will he make standpoint. And maybe it occurs that even with a 13, you don't get the silver bullet, but like maybe it was never about that. Maybe you just need to appeal to this man who, through whatever tribulations, through however shittily, has acted as your uncle for as long as you can remember. Maybe you just need to, instead of approaching, the man who owns the Paraspera, you just need to approach the man who raised Dani.
You get what I'm really asking, right? I'm asking you the same thing I asked you when we found the ship. Let me keep doing this project. I love it.
I know. Hell, I only kept the damn thing because I knew it was going to make you better at what you do. Better profit? I mean, maybe. Sure. Impossible to say. It all comes out in the wash. Who's to say that the amount of time you've spent that could have been working on other smaller things versus the time on the Paraspera wouldn't have all added up? That's a fool's game, trying to maximize your profit in that nebulous sphere. No. That's a terrible reason, honestly, to make a business decision. You don't make a business decision based on the coin, you make it based on the people. Far more reliable. I kept the ship because I knew it would make you better. And maybe, just maybe, teach you the things that I could teach a great deal. I fail in some ways. It's been said of me. If this is what you want, then don't ask for it. I've never asked for a damn thing I wanted. He sips the last of his drink, holds the empty glass, and looks at you.
I want the ship. I'm already its captain. Feels silly not to kind of finish the loop.
Atta girl.
Oh.
Then I guess there's only one thing left to do. The same as last time, he calls forth, as signature of contract 3133405-F, I call upon the House of Concordance to enforce the terms bound in the heart of law. Boom. This massive construct, everyone in the room turns to see this, appears in the room.
Roll initiative.
With you.
Oh, I'd be so ready.
You watch as this monstrous construct, the embodiment of the contract that has bound you and given you so much problem up until this moment, appears. Otto walks up to it, looks up into its one big googly eye, staring unerringly, grabs its chest, turns slightly, the gold disc that contains the entirety of your contract pops out. He walks over to Dani, he says, it's going to require all 3 signatures to disband.
Look over, see if I can spot Virla.
Yeah, Virla's right there.
Yeah.
Also looking at you, this incredibly dangerous
Virla
monster
definitely
just plane
noticed.
shifted into the hall.
Get over here, you're on the way.
Yeah. When it looks like Otto and Dani are looking expectantly at Virla, he'll come over. He has a pretty good inkling of what's going to happen.
You guys
I'm gonna
all put...
look at Dani and like mouth like, are we punching? Is that what the? Okay, no punching. Cool. Back to my drink. I just had to ask. Okay, have fun, Captain. All right, back to my drink.
You each lay a hand on this golden disc, the hole in the middle of this contract, and all that it inquires is your intent. No words need be spoken. If you're ready to destroy this thing, then it'll go.
I'm ready if
Virla
you
and Dani?
are.
I think with this action, Virla fully lets go of the notion that he could ever own the ship, and fully, with his intention, entrusts it to Dani.
But what a funny time to put your intention of being actually captain.
Dueling captain.
You watch as the gold just lights up and words dissolve off of it, and as it does, the gold plate remains, and it is nothing but a smooth discus.
Made of gold?
Yeah, made of gold.
Ooh. Voss, I got your
Maybe
payment.
Voss got paid
after all.
All right.
Otto goes, I'm keeping this.
Oh. Voss starts running halfway, and then he stops. And he turns the fuck
Consider it
around.
the first payment. I'll be in touch if I ever have a job that I would like to commission the crew of the paraspa to take care
I'll
of.
hold on to the sending
Will-
stone.
I suppose,
Fantastic.
will a new contract have to be written up? Technically, the papers are still under Otto's name, I'm pretty sure. Registration
Papers.
and all.
What is papers?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure plugs.
All it takes is what... The only law that exists in the Planescape is what you can enforce. In this case, I had that thing enforcing it for me. Papers, burn them. Who cares?
As long as we're just never.
Make a new
so
contract if
comfy.
you want to go through all of the hoops, but...
I am personally okay with no longer going to Arcadia, because if we burn those papers and have no replacement, we definitely are not allowed back there.
Tell them to go fuck themselves.
Oh, way ahead of you, sir.
I knew I always liked you.
I'm no longer
Flashback
beholden.
to first episode where he's like, can we put him back down?
Okay, Otto. You can have one
I'm no longer
right.
beholden to... the ship is no longer beholden to you, so I'm going to say you've kind of always been an asshole, but... You allowed Dani to bring me back, and so... Beyond the contract, I've always had an obligation towards you.
Was that?
But no longer. My obligation is towards her now.
What's up, boss?
That's the old man.
Correct
who
on all
we're supposed to
accounts.
kill, right?
Oh, no. Dani doesn't want us killing him. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't believe
All
we
right.
got this season without anyone trying to kill Otto.
I think if he'd been like 20% more heinous at the worst points, we'd have been like, all right, when are we doing it?
That's always been the thing about Otto. He's always riding the line. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he jumps over it, sometimes he jumps back.
Yeah.
He looks at you, takes the disc under his arm, says, "Then I'm going to bed. It's been an awful long day. Good luck to whatever you're going to do. And listen to the woman. She knows what she's talking about."
Well, boys, we're about to do something
what-
incredibly stupid. Business as usual.
Fantastic. And I think with that, as Otto leaves and you turn towards everyone waiting, we're going to pick up next episode with the debrief.
Yeah. The slumber
Man.
party.
We're out of the tunnel,
Oh
you
my
guys.
God.
It's looking up now. Everything's
We
looking up,
only have to
Dani.
fight a giant fleet of mind player, not a lie.
But
It's
we'll have
easier than
Red.
fighting this Marut.
Hear me out. What? Maybe squid operate like a snail, and if you put salt down, so we just have to connect the plane of salt
Yes.
and the plane of water.
Back to the plane of salt.
Back to the
They
plane
were in
of
the
salt.
ocean. I would just like to point out that we found them
They
in
were
the
in the
ocean.
ocean currently.
Anyway, we'll workshop it.
The saltiness of the ocean, kind of its one thing.
We'll workshop
And
it.
its
All right.
propensity to house squids, no less.
Thank you, everyone. We will catch you next time for Season 4, Episode 9 of Adventures of the Crew of the Paraspora. The Adventures of the Captain and Crew of the Paraspora. Excuse me. We'll see you then.
Oh.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rolling with Difficulty. The crew of the Paraspora will return next week for another thrilling installment, but if you miss us before then, you can visit us on Rolling with Difficulty's Discord, linked in the show notes below. Got any questions, comments, or concerns? Feel free to email us at rollwithdifficulty@gmail.com. If you enjoyed the show, please rate us and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. And if you really enjoyed the show, consider becoming a patron for even more exclusive content, like art from the cast, stories about NPCs, and homebrew like the Bard College of Feasts subclass. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting the show and listening, and we'll catch you out on the Astral Sea.